loss that happened after the 2020 election going to vote for him this time, who didn't the last time? Hard to believe.
We are one day away from this election, and I think a lot of people are going to be upset.
I would say take Harris over 270 electoral votes. This guy is a loser. He's fat. He's pathetic. He doesn't know where he is. He's confused. He's dazed. And I think people are going to see through that. And, a lot of these macho, guys, I don't think they think it's macho to attack women, attack Puerto Ricans. I mean, I don't think they're or blacks or anything else.
If you nominate Donald Trump as the Republican nominee, Joe Biden will win and Kamala Harris will become president. That's a fact. If Donald Trump becomes the Republican nominee, we will get a President Kamala Harris. You mark my words. He cannot win a general election. Donald Trump will not win the general election. You can have him win any primary you want. He will not win a general election. We will have a female president of the United States. It will either be me or it will be Kamala Harris.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
All right, this election alert means we are getting to our first big poll closing. Here are our first projections. There, NBC News projects that Donald Trump has won the presidential election in Kentucky, Indiana. In West Virginia, Donald Trump is the winner. Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Arkansas, Texas, North Dakota, South Dakota. NBC News also projects a winner in the Wyoming presidential race, Mississippi, Louisiana, Ohio, Kansas, Utah, Montana, Iowa, the state of Nebraska in the presidential contest, Idaho. The first swing state is North Carolina, going to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has prevailed in the presidential race. Pennsylvania. NBC now projects he is the winner of Michigan and its 15 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the winner in Alaska, picking up 3 more electoral votes. Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. He is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president.
Hey, look what happened. Is this crazy?
Give my remarks to all of the Trump haters, all of the people that said that my Trump was gonna lose. So I say to you this morning, the day after the election,
Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast.
It is the big broadcast. Happy hour. Newstalk 93.1 FM for a Monday. We'll try and make it a fun day, although that will be a challenge. I'm Greg Goodell, and Tom Moore is riding shotgun today. How about that? He's our next member.
And here they are.
How about some applause for our mayor in waiting? Well, we only had 7 shootings and 4 dead this weekend, right after we were told crime is down by that incompetent DEI mayor we got. That's what we got. Let's give him a chance. How's that working out for everybody? It's a bunch of Beazle schmears that I'm sick of it. I saw videos from this weekend. You don't even know the half of what's going on. Where the gangs congregate and shooting, oh God, it's just pathetic. Other than that, everything is great.
Yeah, the weather's beautiful. It has been a hell of a run with this weather, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, sad. One of the deadliest weekends in Montgomery's history. And then I log into Facebook, and the mayor's post is a event next month talking about, another event in Montgomery and attraction.
Is that the bourbon and beer on the street thing?
No, this is this Essence Magazine, May 16th, inaugural Fine and Dandy affair.
Yeah, let's shovel some more dirt.
And you can see it's not the most diverse advertising who the audience is. So no mention of the number of deaths, no mention of working on crime, any task force, just another event, another attraction. Crime is down once again. Peeing on my leg, tell me it's raining. I think the criminals were like, oh really? Crime's down. Hold my beer, and everyone knows it's a statistical correlation. The hotter it gets, the
worse
more
it gets.
the crime, and it's warming up. It's in the 80s. Sure enough, 7 shootings.
But if you're a Democrat or a liberal, the way it works is you blame Rich Thomas because it's global warming. He's in charge of the climate. That's why crime's going up. I mean, it's almost like, let's embarrass the guy. Let's go out and shoot up a few. Look at those two beauties. The mugshots there, they look like they got bright futures. I'm just so sick of pretending. Stop with the pretense. Stop pretending our schools are succeeding. Stop pretending that they're victims of some kind. The only thing they're victims of is liberal Democrats. Got it? You own this bullcrap. It's on you. And it's getting old. When are you going to wake up? How many people, what kind of elected tug of war does it take to pull your heads out of your asses?
Yeah.
That's what we have. Oh, let's have an initiative. Oh, let's have a commission. Oh, let's piss away money to fix a problem. Somebody's ass needs to be kicked. Let's start with that. And it's not me.
We had one piece of legislation, House Bill 298 to increase our police force, and the Democrats got into the House and they just ran a filibuster the last day of the session, and all of these important bills, none of them got seen.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of our Republican legislators sit down to pee.
Yeah.
They're wusses. That's what the Republican Party is. Wusses.
Yeah. I'm
Go along, you get along. Let's bend over the aisle. Every time you bend over the aisle, guess who gets it in the keister? We do. We're tired of it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll be fine shortly.
We'll get there. I'm the biggest dog
Where
lover.
is there?
I'm the biggest dog lover there is. And, 361 got passed, which is the leash law with dogs. But it's like, okay, what about crime in Montgomery, And then sadly, with the session closed, that bill dies. And so it can't be reintroduced until next January, And so, what's it tell you when the mayor's against a fully funded police force?
That, I don't know. I can't understand the mindset at all. I can't. Used to be Democrats, which is what he's a progressive Democrat. Yeah, how much progress is made under progressives? Very little. Backwards, back-asswards, that's where we go. They suck the freedom out of everything. And you know what? When you're paralyzed with fear about where you can go in the city at night, that's not freedom.
Yeah, the drag strip has always been kind of a safe place to go. And there was a shooting, and a 1-year-old got hit by a stray bullet there. I saw a shot-up truck. And
the people standing around describing it like this is normal. Ooh, it was like laughing and cackling, carrying on.
But it is the new normal because we have 60 homicides a year on average now when it used to be 30. So sadly, this has become the normal. We're at 14 homicides so far this year. Statistically, we're on par to be another 60 year, So you cannot say crime is down. And you can't, I think the big picture you say, is this city better off since Stephen Reed has taken office in 2019, or is it not? And it's not. You can have all these things downtown and these attractions, these Ferris wheels. If people don't feel safe, where's the town heading?
This bourbon event. Wow, that sounds great. Let's have drunks on the street. What could go wrong?
And like I said, it's just the weather's been absolutely beautiful. Folks should be able to enjoy the spring weather, go out with their families, not worry about getting shot, crazy drivers, no traffic enforcement. But yeah, something's got to be done. And so if you're sick and tired of it, just remember, go to the election next fall. So
I need some
Eric Swallowell is done.
Man.
Toast. And
50 staffers? Woo.
If he isn't the biggest douchebag in all of Congress, he is so smarmy and unlikable and, full of opinions about casting moral judgments on Trump and everything else. Because he's a Democrat, nobody bothered to look into the fact that he was banging Bang Bang Fang Fang, the Chinese spy. Why was that okay? Let's have our number one world rival, spying on one of our Congress critters. And that just was overlooked. It finally got to the point where they can't ignore it anymore. And now all of a sudden you've got people like Adam Schiff judging your character. Holy crap.
Yeah.
This is, I'll tell you what, politics is becoming this. You're in a place. Nothing makes sense. It's the Twilight Zone. All right, I'm already tired.
Yeah, he owned it. He dropped out. And now he's facing criminal investigation, for sexual assault.
He didn't
rape.
resign his seat in Congress, though, yet, did he?
I think that's soon to come.
Why is he waiting? Why is he getting a break? I don't get it. So, let me talk about Montgomery Men's Health. If I have always had an open invitation for guys who are curious about what happens there. What do they have? Feel free to write and ask questions. But for men who are feeling like all of a sudden your energy isn't what it used to be, your vitality isn't what it used to be, your libido is like nowhere. These are all things that are connected to testosterone, but it goes far above and beyond sexual performance. You can also be gaining weight because of a low T level. Weight, obesity, those are two of the leading causes of ED. Montgomery Men's Health has helped thousands of guys get their metabolism balanced to the proper T level, lose the weight, and enjoy a better level of performance. It's not all that complicated, but it is a medical question and a very common medical condition. Easily treatable, but you've got people that one of the things I don't talk enough about, the staff at Montgomery Men's Health, really incredible. It's a bit of an educational experience. You learn things about yourself you probably didn't know, because doctors tend not to focus on that. But get that T level checked. If it's not where it needs to be, it can be easily remedied. If you're dealing with issues like ED and PE, get over it, stop living with it, and do something about it, because there's situations that are far more effective than pills. So I can't recommend them highly enough. Guys, if you're tired of avoiding the issue, get proactive about yourself. 334-440-3663. And you can book that $99 test online at MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. That's MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. 318, David Blackman joining us at 3:30.
Well, as we start this afternoon, we have one accident, Highway 14 near Cook Road. That is going to be in the vicinity of the Wetumpka Municipal Airport and Casada Parkway. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. Other than that, light to mostly moderate traffic. A little bit busy around the city on the boulevards. I-65 and 85, no issues through Montgomery, just light to moderate traffic. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka overall giving us light to moderate afternoon traffic. Haynes Ambulance is there for you both on the ground and in the air. From simple patient transport to life or death situations, Haynes is ready at a moment's notice. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Y'all hear about all those politicians making money in the stock market?
Yeah, that Nancy Pelosi's making a killing.
Yeah, she is. And so is Coach.
Tommy Tuberville?
Yeah, he and Pelosi are making millions. Turns out old Senator Tuberville's trading ag futures while he's on the ag committee.
Wow, Tommy Tuberville's making a killing in the stock market.
Yep, just like Nancy Pelosi.
It's all just a big game to Coach Tuberville.
In 2024, Tommy Tuberville made millions trading stocks, just in 1 year.
Wonder what else there is.
So Tommy Tuberville is making millions in the stock market, all in the industries he regulates.
Tommy Tuberville's great at making millions for himself.
Now I want to know.
Just how much money did Tommy Tuberville and Nancy Pelosi make for themselves in the stock market?
Why don't we ask him? Let's call Tommy Tuberville. Ask him how much money he made himself in the stock market.
And tell him, for us, it's not a game.
This advertisement is paid for by the Alabama Leadership Fund.
Epicure and Jack's Tavern, located at 2060 Downing Street. 5 ice cold beers, 1 bucket, $13. Anytime. At Epicure and Jack's Tavern, their beer buckets are always available. No happy hour clock required. Come in, relax, and enjoy great food with an even better deal. Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Cold beer, fair prices, no fine print. Come taste what everyone's talking about.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. If you're an experienced sales professional ready for more opportunity, more income potential, and more control over your own success, we should talk. At Blue Water, you'll work with local business owners to develop strategic marketing campaigns across 7 radio stations and a growing digital platform, including social, streaming, and targeted advertising. Outside sales experience is required. Media or digital experience is a plus. If you're ready for a career move that rewards performance, send us your resume today. BlueWaterBroadcasting.com.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM. WACV.
Let's face it, you suck at golf. But now you can look like a Masters champion at Ugly Green Sport Coat Warehouse. We have the widest selection of bright green blazers that no one in their right mind would ever step out of the house wearing, but for some reason is the most coveted prize in golf. When you put on one of our ugly green sport coats, you'll feel like you've accomplished golf immortality, even though your greatest golf accomplishment was that one time you got 2 pars in a row. So come on down to Ugly Green Sport Coat Warehouse. You're gonna like the way you look, like a member of Augusta National, even though you're just an alternate in the Elks Lodge Thursday night 9-hole beer league. I guarantee it. It is hideous. You win this prestigious tournament and they give you a jacket that goes with nothing in the closet. But Rory McIlroy, back-to-back championships at the Masters. We'll see you again next year.
In Augusta.
On CBS. It was not a good sports weekend. The Yankees suck. $360 million, and they couldn't hit a bull in the butt with a bass fiddle. Awful. But I did go see a Biscuits game this weekend. That was
nice.
It was fun. Ballpark is still a wonderful and charming experience. And
at Davos Park.
I think it's Davos.
Davos.
And, I'm not sure if it's Park or Field.
Nobody knows.
They do have the signage up, and I'm cool with that. I mean, at least somebody that's investing in local product in the city, which is good. I don't know to what degree the fear of going downtown is impacting ball games, but I think over the last couple of years it definitely has. Probably more so on weekend nights and stuff.
Yeah.
Gee, I can't make up my mind whether I want to see the baseball game or ride the Ferris wheel or go to the bourbon event and get hammered and really drunk and angry and all that. Are we having issues with our broadcast today? Apparently nobody wants to call. 334-272-9222. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but we're only hearing about a word, then it cuts out for 5 seconds and comes back for 1 second. That's from our virtual producer, Mark Cumby. Mark, I don't know what's going on. I'm just waiting for David Blackman to show up. And there's so much to discuss. The president trolling the Pope. Have you ever seen the movie 12 O'Clock High?
I have not.
Oh, my goodness.
I need to.
You do. It's about a group of bombers in World War II based in England. And Gregory Peck plays this badass general who's trying to whip an outfit into shape because they've had a lot of losses. And he manages to turn the esprit de corps around with the unit to an extent where people that don't fly on missions were flying. And for those of you who heard me quote this Friday, or I don't even remember the last time I said it, but the chaplain sneaks on a mission.
Wow.
And Peck's character catches them coming back, sneaking off B-17s. And he confronts the chaplain. And he says, Padre, from this point forward, confine your activities to the theater of sin. Is this understood? That's what I'd like to tell the Pope.
Amen. I could not have said better myself. It's like, you got enough issues in the Catholic Church. Focus on that.
Yeah.
And let Trump handle worldly events.
I mean,
you can talk about peace all you want, but what have the Iranians done for 47 years? So what are you just going to do? Keep praying that they're going to turn peaceful?
He's a liberal Democrat. I had for a while, I had a guy that imitated him. We called him the Pope because he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Not funny anymore. He's a terrible choice. Stay out of the world events.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Catholic Church needs a good manager. So focus on that.
Yep. Amen.
And stay the hell out of our stuff.
I saw somebody on CNN today, she kept referring to Pope Leo as the Holy Father. I'm like, that's a sin right there. There's one Holy Father, and his name is not Leo. It's like, quit idolizing this person known as the Pope. We're all sinners. We're all equal. There's one person that's above us, and it ain't Pope Leo. And like I said, you can't pray for peace. It's in the Iranian blood. It is a terroristic regime that wants to kill Americans.
Yeah.
So you can pray for peace all you want, but sometimes you got to bring in the U.S. military and blockades and nip it in the bud. So
we will get to all of those topics with David Blackman in a minute, probably a little bit late because we had some delays setting up. So David, please be patient if you're listening. I'm so thrilled to be able to speak on behalf of this group of people, Alabama Home Mortgage. They've been a part of our radio station for many, many years. It's a great group with Madeline and the staff there, and the collective expertise. And really, any approach to mortgage begins with a consultation on which way to go, when to go. Should we wait a little longer for interest rates to come down? Do you see that happening? I mean, the level of expertise with these folks is through the roof. And for first-timers, they're great nurturers, so you don't get anxious and nervous during the process. It could be sitting on a ton of money. It could be in the house you're currently living in. Maybe you're waiting to make a home improvement. Life is short. Why wait? Why not call Alabama Home Mortgage and talk to them about it? At least get answers. Ask questions, get answers. 567-4223. These folks are experienced. They know their stuff. And they will always give you the straight answer that you need, whatever your situation happens to be. They help with VA mortgages. It's one of the best deals with no down payment, 100% cash out refis available, and so much more. When life changes, your mortgage should change with you. They can help you navigate the next chapter, whether you need a larger home, you're ready to downsize, there's a divorce or some other situation. Reach out to the very best. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223 here in the 334. They're an equal housing lender, and their NMLS number is 1586368.
Traffic is brought to you by Skipper Pools. Skipper Pools for weekly service, equipment, and liner replacements, and a sparkling pool all year. 356-0237. Skip the rest. Call the best. Skipper Pools.
330.
We had an accident a little earlier, Highway 14 in the vicinity of Cusana Parkway near the Wetumpka Municipal Airport. Should be out of the way now, but use caution as you move through that stretch. In Montgomery, light to mostly moderate traffic. East-South Boulevard, our busiest of the boulevards right now. But overall, looking pretty good. I-65 and 85, no issues there. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka giving us light to moderate traffic reports. Keep it right here. We'll keep you updated. McKinnon Toyota has all the specials from Toyota, plus small town service, and they're family owned and operated. It's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
News is brought to you by Budget Floors and More, your new best friend.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Alabama State University has announced Chris Wright as its new head men's basketball coach. Wright has an overall career record of 322 wins and 121 losses, with a history of transformational success. In 2021, Wright took over a one-win Langston University team and led them to a 31-3 record in just his first season. 4 people were killed in 7 separate shootings between Friday afternoon and Sunday morning in Montgomery. The Montgomery Police Department called a press conference Sunday afternoon to address the deadly violence. Chief Grabois stated none of the shootings were related, but the victims and suspects in all 4 homicides knew each other. Approximately $5 million in federal ARPA funds were allocated to Montgomery small businesses in 2021. 5 years later, much of the money still hasn't been distributed. In their first April meeting, the City Council voted to hire consultants to change the loan program to a grant program. The money will revert back to the federal government if it remains unspent by the end of the year. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Del Rey to Publix.
And this is a painting of my grandfather, the only one he ever had made.
Sometime take a close look around your house.
This sewing machine was my Aunt Mary's.
If you have possessions that are irreplaceable, consider this. Each year, over 65,000 American homes suffer a fire due to an electrical problem. Are our possessions safe? To know for sure, call Crosby Electric, your exclusive provider of Current Safe, the world's foremost home diagnostic system. Using high-tech equipment, Crosby Electric will check your hidden wiring, panel box, light switches, and electrical outlets to pinpoint potential problems and make sure your things are safe.
Oh, my daughter's second grade art project. I'd die if something happened to this.
Some things can't be replaced by insurance. Don't wait another day. Call 272-2085 for an in-home no-obligation assessment or visit crosbyelectric.com. Don't just think it's safe. Know it's safe. Now you'll be safe with Current Safe.
Do you suffer every time you try to wear good-looking shoes, but you don't want to wear ugly shoes just because they're comfortable? The Good Feet store wants to help you wear heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by M&M Outdoors. Book your stay today at MNMcampground.com for relaxation at its best. It's easy to find and hard to leave. M&M Outdoors, your home away from home. Feeling the pressure of high credit card rates? ASC Credit Union has you covered with a low 1.99% APR on balance transfers. Move your balances in March or April and lock in that 1.99% rate through your October statement. Visit ASC Credit Union today. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I am Jeff Bezos, and I'd like to congratulate the brave crew of Artemis 2. 10 whole days in space. I mean, I could totally relate, having spent 10 whole minutes in space aboard my Blue Origin. You know, pretty much the same thing. And we shall never forget the names of these brave space pioneers, whoever they are. I mean, they're not exactly household names, like, I don't know, Katy Perry and Gayle King, and of course, Lauren Zero Gravity Gazonga Sanchez. No, I kid, of course. In all seriousness, Artemis 2 is the most consequential space mission of our time. And that's for one reason. It did not involve Elon Musk or SpaceX. Bang, zoom, to the moon, Elon.
As the 21st century began, natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits. A dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
David Blackman and Greg Budell present Tales of the Idiocracy.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Welcome, 335, as we go to somewhere in Texas, Dallas and vicinity, as I understand it, to visit the man with the 10-gallon brain. He is the Wizard of our Oz. I just made that up.
Yeah, it's good.
On the fly.
The man behind the green curtain.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Blackman.
I would have to get an emerald green curtain. And I'm having the echo, by the way.
Okay, see, here's the conflict. All right, the echo's gone.
Okay, thanks.
As I understand it, the stuff that we play through the board has to go with that button down, which is the one that causes you echo. They're aware of it in upper level manglement. And let me explain how upper level radio manglement goes. So I go tell them, hey, we got a problem. My prime guest gets an echo if I'm playing audio through the board. So can we find a separate bus to put it in? I state my claim. Okay. I walk out of the door and then they have a big meeting.
We must do something about this immediately.
So they give you the impression that, yeah, we're going to tackle this problem right away. But when the door closes, all you hear is,
Oh, crap. Ah, damn it. Ah, crap.
it's going to cost money. And then they go to lunch, usually at a place that serves alcoholic beverages. They come back after hours of deliberation and say,
Screw off.
we're not fixing it. So I'll just have to be. By the way, look who's with us. It's Tom Moore.
Hey, Tom.
We got the three amigos on a Monday afternoon. What could go wrong?
Our great veteran. Yes. You can give us a good take on what the pilots and stuff are going on.
Absolutely.
Because he was in 3 theaters himself while he was serving in the Air Force. Yeah. And he'd really be a great mayor for Montgomery. We only had 4 murders this weekend. A day, David, after the mayor announced that crime is down. But all they do is play with statistics. It's not a murder while it's a death investigation.
Right.
We don't know. Well, we got to find out what killed this individual before you. It's all bullcrap. And people are sick of it. This is the thing that may save the republic, is that while Trump is doing some bold things and scaring the crap out of a lot of people too, I mean, and making the media hysterical, the Democrats are imploding. They have no ideas. And on top of that, it's just glorious to watch a scumbag at the caliber of Eric Swalwell
Yeah. I mean, he's the biggest scumbag that's been in Congress in quite some time, and we're fixing to find out more about him later this week. This is the tip of the iceberg with this scumbag, and he's got a lot of running buddies in the Congress too.
Oh, dude. See, how are they going to come at, how can they possibly come at Trump? Oh, they've even disgustingly used the word pedophile. I mean, they're just so desperate. But what do they got? I mean,
nothing.
Their internal approval is lower than. Hey, there's Tommy Tuberville on TV, our senator, who has had enough. He's had enough of that nut house in D.C., and he's going to be our next governor. And he's going to kick Mayor Reed's ass. How about that? What do you? The governor's mansion is in one of the worst neighborhoods in the city. I don't think he's going to put up with that for too long. But the Republican Party, they're as inept locally as they are on a national basis. I'm giving up hope. They couldn't even get a bill done in our legislature, David, that would require every municipality to have 2 police officers hired for every 1,000 citizens. And our mayor objected to that because crime is down. What do we need all these cops for? It's such insanity.
The manipulation of crime statistics, the Democrats have turned that into an art form all over the country.
Yes.
Particularly when it comes to murders and rapes. They're Rape is classified as an assault, a simple assault most of the time now in these Democrat-run cities. So they claim the rape numbers are down. And the same thing with murders. They'll go to great lengths to classify any killing as an accidental death or an overdose of drugs, a suicide when you shoot yourself in the stomach 16 times and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's not limited to Montgomery. It's every Democrat-run city in this country.
They're all going to hell.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, which one of them is thriving right now? They're all bankrupt. They never have enough money for their crazy programs. Watching what's happening in New York is enough to make you cry. Oh, they opened up their first city-run grocery store in East Harlem today.
$35 million down the tubes.
Yeah. I mean, how long before that thing is shoplifted out of existence?
Oh, it won't last long. I mean, everything this guy does is going to be an unmitigated disaster. So it's
it has been. How about, I guess they had to say not so fast on the free bus rides, And every time I see that little twerp and is smiling, he's got that, oh God, and the people, that's why they like him, because he looks like he's a nice guy.
Well, he's young, yeah, and he looks good on TV, and he's very articulate, and I mean, and the Democrats are all about optics. They're all about the superficial things, and which has always kind of baffled me about why they spent so many years covering up for Swalwell, who's just the most repugnant piece of human excrement who's ever inhabited the halls of Congress.
He really is
just a disgrace, just a disgusting human being. And the saddest part is he has 3 young children that are going to get put through all this.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's awful. It's just
well,
awful.
we all knew he was with Bang Bang Fang Fang for 20 years, Chinese spy. That's okay. You're a Democrat. We trust you.
Right.
Just
well, they let Feinstein get away with having a Chinese spy for a limousine driver for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? So, hey, she's a California Democrat. She can do that. That's fine.
I have questions about how everything is playing out in Iran. I look at the market as how the people with money are expressing their confidence. Okay. This morning it was down. The Dow futures were down 500. But at the end of the day, everything was in the green.
Yeah.
Not quite. It wasn't a robust day, but it was up, finished over 48. Up 100 points. Okay. So things changed during the day. What is guiding the optimism here?
Well, there's just a general, first of all, we're having some really good financial results, first quarter financial results being reported by financial institutions. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan both had great quarters. The economy overall in the United States is, first of all, fairly well insulated from the worst impacts of the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, although we're all getting hit with higher gasoline costs at the pump, and that certainly hits the poorest among us the hardest. So folks, open up your hearts to people with lesser means right now, because they can afford it, less than the rest of us. It's a regressive tax anytime gas prices go up. So that part of it's awful, but otherwise, our economy is incredibly well insulated. We're going to benefit from the higher demand for our own energy products, for LNG and for crude oil exports that we're already ramping up. We're going to be at 5 million barrels a day of exports in this country, which is 1.5 million more than in February by the end of this month. And we could probably get it up to 6 or 7 million before the year's over from our industry, which is so nimble and able to respond to emergencies like this. So we're uniquely positioned as a country to withstand this specific crisis. And the country that's going to get hit the hardest is China, because it's been so dependent on all that stuff coming out of the Persian Gulf. And India is going to have a big problem as well. And Not that India is an adversary, but China certainly is. So it's it's a rough deal, and I hope this blockade works the way the Pentagon, the president wanted to, and we'll just pray for our men and women in combat, and hope we don't have any big unexpected casualties related to any of this.
We have calls already. Can we take these?
Certainly.
Yeah, we got two callers with questions for you, David.
All right. Who's this? Good morning. Good afternoon, whatever it is.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Greg and your guest. One of the two of you, I hope, can give me an answer to this. My mother got a letter. She's 93 today in the mail from Regions Bank, which has been one of her banks forever. It said because we're rocks distant from the water park, and they said that the equity value of her house was $250. Now, is that, Greg, or your guest, does that mean, she's already been wanting to put it on the market. Now, would now be a good time to do that because of the equity value of the lot in the house?
I would.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
David,
Greg.
please.
Well, you have an expert related to this stuff that and I'm forgetting the name.
Yeah, Madeline.
I know a little about it, but
I would recommend a call to our friends at Alabama Home Mortgage and get some answers on this.
Yeah.
You got the number?
No, you better be 423.
Yeah. Tell Madeline we suggested you call for some direction. They'll be happy to help. Those are good folks over there.
Thank you, buddy.
Take care. And line two. Good afternoon.
Steve, good afternoon. You got a question for David?
Yeah, I have a couple. One I wanted to ask how he thinks Tuberville is going to come out. I'm concerned about this lawsuit on the residents. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm afraid if they rule against Tuberville, Doug Jones will be governor. That scares me. And the other question I had is about tariffs. Like Trump said, I think if anybody helps Iran, they could be looking to get tariffs. And I didn't know if he has more powers to tariff bypassing Congress since we're in a war with Iran or not.
Well, that's an open question right now. He didn't get a positive result on his previous round of tariffs from the Supreme Court, but the president does have authorities under different laws. There's half a dozen different laws that govern the imposition of tariffs, and so they may have figured out another way to do it. President Trump is the best advice I ever got about President Trump was you should take him seriously, but don't take him literally. And so sometimes he says things that the media goes crazy about that is misinterpreted. And I don't know about this tariff deal, but he does have certain authorities to impose tariffs, and we would just have to wait and see how that all plays out. It's been a nonstop source of controversy for over a year now.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think it goes back to he's trying to persuade the Chinese to keep their fingers out of the pie, if you will. So, the air war has stopped. It's a pause with the ceasefire, and they're afraid that the Chinese are going to rearm, the Iranians with advanced, air defense systems. So it's just kind of a, hey, keep your grubby paws out. And like you said, now we've shown military dominance. Now we need to fight the economic asymmetric warfare that they did with, mining the straits. And this is going to hurt the Chinese. Xi's already calling for an end of the war today. So it's only going to help put pressure on the Iranians to come up. My fear is they don't negotiate. They just stall. So they're going to placate the president and say, yep, we won't build nukes. We'll let the straits, and then, the world will seem to go back to normal, and then I guarantee you they're going to go right back to nuclear proliferation and disruption through third-party terrorist regimes. It's in their blood. So that's my fear.
That's exactly right. You're negotiating with people, first of all, who aren't rational human beings, and second of all, will just do anything to stall for time and to preserve their status quo in power. and also to rearm themselves, right? I mean, that's the whole point of them agreeing to the ceasefire to begin with. They give them time to get more stuff in from Russia and China to help them, prolong the war. They're not interested in reaching any sort of a real peace, negotiated settlement in which, on our terms. And so I know everybody's tired of paying higher gas prices, but we can either do that for a while longer and let President Trump clean that den out for good, or we can just, put enough pressure on him to kick the ball down the road to the next president. And it may be another 47 years before we elect another president who's willing to take the slings and arrows involved in doing something like this. So,
thank you, Steve, for the call. You had an up close and personal view of this ideology. I did some reading on it over the weekend as to just how different Iran is from the rest of the Islamic nations over there. They're just committed to this. They're insane.
Yeah, it's in their blood. Thousands of years of hatred, but 47 years of regime. Yeah, I've lived all over the Middle East. I lived in Saudi Arabia for 14 months. I speak a little bit Arabic. I've been to pretty much every GCC country. I mean, Iraq, Afghanistan, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, Jordan, you name it. Like I said, I lived in Saudi Arabia, flew with the Saudis. It is a mindset that Western culture cannot comprehend. You hear these negotiations, and we thought that the nuclear thing was a done deal, that they agreed to, and then all of a sudden this weekend they're like, nope, we've got no military, we've got a crumbled economy, but our goal, nope, we want to build a nuclear weapon. And it's like, then you got the Pope saying, oh, I pray for peace, and it's like,
what do you make of that, David?
You're like, wait, this country clearly cares about getting a nuclear tipped ballistic missile to inflict maximum damage, and you're praying for peace?
That's the inevitability with them.
Yeah.
That's the inevitability with Iran. And Trump, obviously, because he knew how the consequences of this action were going to play out economically after he had just whipsawed the economy, positioned it for explosive growth. Now we're looking at inflation and other things becoming problematic again. I have to believe he made the decision because he felt he had to make it.
Of course he did. Yeah. And, he's the economy is still positioned for explosive growth. And we may end up getting more explosive growth out of this than we would have had before because of all the benefits we're now going to have coming into the country with our energy economy.
Yeah.
So we're going, I look at this and I see the president. I think he knew those negotiations weren't going to go anywhere. It's why he sent J.D. Vance over there, the most anti-war, reasonable guy in his administration, to lead that delegation so that the Iranians wouldn't be able to say, oh, this was an unreasonable people we were dealing with. He sent Jared Kushner, who negotiated the Abraham Accords with him, and Steve Witkoff, his emissary who's negotiated all these other deals. So the Iranians, he knew they were going to quash, any kind of a reasonable deal. And now he's positioning the United States to become the major beneficiary out of this. And we are assuming a dominant position on the global stage where energy is concerned. We essentially own Venezuela now. He has neutered Cuba as any sort of impediment to traffic into the Gulf of America to all of our refineries. He has positioned our country as the main supplier of LNG to Europe and to Asia now. And there's never been a single country on the face of the earth in history that has been in such an incredibly dominant position where the geopolitics of energy are concerned as the United States is today. So again, we're having some economic hardship, but the market is not pricing in anything resembling a recession as a result of all this.
Yeah. We hit, I think 48,000 with the Dow today. Gold and silver's up. It's I think there's a lot of cautious optimism going on right now. And you imagine flying to Pakistan and being jet lagged and then have to negotiate with the Iranians for 21 hours. And you're just bashing your head like when they're like, nope, we want a nuke. Nope, we want the Straits. And like, really?
No, we're 48 Ayatollahs deep in the tree of ascendancy. We have no Navy. It's all at the bottom of the ocean. But we're going to make 71 demands of you.
Yeah.
Because we're in the driver's seat.
But they really did hold the cards. When you threaten the Straits, they are winning economic asymmetric warfare. And now we own it. We have the cards.
Right.
So with this blockade, we're clearing the Straits. So no ships in and out, right? We're going to run our minesweepers through. We're going to have, CAPS, which is air patrols flying over, looking for those fast boats. Take those out, see if they do anything to our ships. Then you can control who goes in and out of the Straits. So we can let our allies transit, and you can hold Iranian shipments coming through, which will kill them economically. And then that will put them at their knees, which hopefully, gets them to, but I don't have hopes with negotiations. So let's hurt them economically and then and now we need partnership too. So Trump said today that there were, allies that were going to help with this blockade. I'd like to see the proof in the pudding on that.
I want to see who that's going to be. It's not going to be England. It's not going to be France. It's not going to be Italy. It's not going to be Spain. It's not going to be Germany. Who's it going to be? It may be our actual new natural allies in places like Indonesia and Japan and Thailand and those countries, and even some of the countries in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. It's not going to be Europe, because Europe has just decided to capitulate. Okay, they're just capitulating to China now.
It could be the Gulf
WEF
nations
agenda. Yeah,
I could see that, because people think blockade is often a naval portion. There's also air assets associated with that. A lot of surveillance, and so you can get the Gulf nations to fly, air patrols over the skies and shore monitoring. But I think you can apply maximum pressure on China now with this blockade as well. Like, hey, if you want Chinese ships to transit through or carrying that flag, hey, little quid quo pro. So,
and one of y'all mentioned that Xi made a statement demanding an end to the war right now. Well, the reason he's doing that is because he realizes, he's fully aware that his country is going to bear the brunt of this if this blockade is successful. It's his economy that's going to suffer.
David, do you recall, it was 8 weeks ago, you did a master class. This is after Venezuela. And you pointed out that, and with Cuba and everything else, and now Iran, the one common denominator to all of those theaters is China.
It's China, yes. Yeah. Before all this happened in January, China was getting highly discounted oil from Russia, from Venezuela, from Iran, and now all of those streams have been cut off. They're not even getting the Russian oil in there now. So China's having to really scramble, and they were making big money off of exporting refined products to other countries. They were making huge profits off of that because they're getting the discounted crude, refining it, and sending the refined portion of the refined products overseas for profit. All of that's done. That's over. They've had to cut off their refined product shipments to use in their own economy now. And so this is an enormous economic hit to China.
Yep. It's like you said, it's a global economy. It's global pain right now, but our enemies are suffering more. I equate it to COVID. So the Chinese created COVID in a lab. It was accidentally leaked. And I think they knew that it was leaked. They certainly lost a lot more lives with COVID that, they don't like to release those numbers, but economically it hurt the West more. So it's like, hey, the world is suffering from COVID, but the West took it in the shorts more. And I think now this is the reverse of that, hey, we're paying a little bit more at the pump, but I've got relatives that live in Asia and it's astronomically higher there. And in fact, the Philippines almost ran out of petroleum products. They were at a
foreign countries like California are paying $1.50 a gallon more than we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're up to like $9 for premium. So
it's 4:00. Do you know where Anthony Fauci is? We got to take our break here at the top of the hour for news and weather and all that, but we're going to have 3 big segments. We're just completing the first one here with David Blackman. Our number is 2729228. And you can subscribe to David's blog by visiting davidblackman.substack.com. I encourage you, if you want a reasoned take on the things that you don't know what the networks are exaggerating or reporting inaccurately, this is the guy with the insight, especially in a situation with oil and gas, the Straits of Hormuz, and so forth. You're in the best possible hands with David. David will come back in about a little bit. I have no idea, but what a segment that was. Right?
Phenomenal. The Three Amigos continue.
The Idiocracy is a presentation of Montgomery Paint and Body. Our thanks to Donnie Turner, Brandon Turner, and the team at MPB for the great work they do in helping present you with this great man from Texas. I mean, how lucky are we, the one radio station in America, to have a guy who's a nationally recognized expert on oil and gas available to talk to us and explain what's happening, where this is going in the middle of this crisis. We are blessed, and we thank Montgomery Paint and Body for making that possible. It's 4 o'clock. We're going to check traffic. We have SRN News, Rich's weather, and then we're back with David.
We have a new accident at Highway 82 at McQueen Smith Road in Prattville. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. Traffic is definitely busy and building, especially interstates in Montgomery. East-South Boulevard is our busiest spot right now. Narrow lane to Woodley over to Troy Highway. West Boulevard, light to moderate. Just getting busy all over the place. Keep it here, and we will keep you updated. High school students, Trenton State Community College Dual Enrollment Program lets you earn college credit while you're still in high school. Take the first step towards your college journey. Go to TrentonState.edu for more information. Buckle up with J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
I'm Stephanie Bryan, chairwoman of the Porch Creek Indians. Tourism and hospitality are more than industries to the Porch Creek Indians. Providing a warm welcome is part of our heritage. It's central to who we are. From Atmore to Aruba, we've created more than 20 unique travel and tourism destinations, providing unforgettable guest experiences and life-changing career opportunities for our tribe and our neighbors in Alabama and beyond. Learn more at porchcreekindians.org.
2026 marks 60 years that hope has had a home in Alabama. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, children who've lost everything through no fault of their own have found something priceless. A safe place to live, a loving Christian family, and the chance to simply be kids again. Here, boys and girls grow up surrounded by care, guidance, and faith, learning right from wrong, learning responsibility, learning they are valued and that their lives have purpose. As the Alabama Sheriffs have believed for 6 decades, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women. These former ranchers are now teachers, parents, business owners, and leaders, living proof that love, structure, and faith can change a life forever. As the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches celebrate 60 years of serving Alabama's children, you can help ensure the next child has the same chance. Learn how you can make a difference at alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. 60 years of building lives, and we're just getting started.
With spring officially here, Pizza Perfect has sprung a great deal for April. Get a free order of breadsticks or cinnamon sticks with the purchase of any large or medium pizza. That'll make the whole family smile. Pizza Perfect's amazing buffet includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Pizza Perfect is also available for pickup and delivery. Pizza Perfect on Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump says the American military blockade of Iranian ports has begun. The blockade underway as part of the president's effort to force Iran to open up the Strait of Hormuz. All this comes following a failure over the weekend by the U.S. and Iran to reach an agreement to end the war that has gone on now for more than 6 weeks. In the meantime, that fragile ceasefire continues to hold. Oil prices hovering just under $100 a barrel today after almost 24 hours of ceasefire talks coming to an end without an agreement. But U.S. stocks nevertheless held steady today on Wall Street, an indication that investors still see a chance to avoid a worst-case scenario for the global economy. At the closing bell, the Dow was up by 301 points, the Nasdaq up by 280, and the S&P 500 up about 69. This is SRN News.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad, real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards. It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-936-5496.
E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free. E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free.
At eBike Oasis, we're more than just Montgomery's best electric bicycle store. eBike Oasis offers free 1-hour electric bicycle rentals and a full-service electric bike repair shop. Stop by eBike Oasis in Montgomery today for free rentals, repairs, and electric bicycle brands in town.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. It's more than just great prices on lumber. From Trex decking to energy-efficient windows and Tamco shingles, Alabama Wholesale Lumber has it all.
Beautiful. CB&S Bank, serving families and communities since 1906. Proud to be named 16th best performing bank nationally in their asset category by American Banker. Learn more at cbsbank.com. CB&S Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertiser.
Our tour of the Idiocracy is all about solutions.
Tired of waiting in those long lines at the toll booths in your super tanker?
And I'm sick of digging through the console to find $2 million in Bitcoin for the exact change lane.
Well, now you can skip the line with the Hormuz Easy Pass. Simply log on to the Hormuz Easy Pass website, deposit at least $12 million in crypto, and attach the transponder to your vessel's windshield.
Now I can go straight through the strait.
And when your balance gets low, the new Ayatollah will automatically charge your account and not blow up your ship. US dollars not accepted.
Wow, nothing could be easier. except for, before when we didn't have to pay anything.
The Hormuz Easy Pass, because the war in Iran is taking a toll.
I want to be clear, I did not steal that from David's energy blog, which is
that's
Blackman at Substack.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. David Blackman, our guest, Tom Moore, our Monday sidekick, as we explore the This guy, David, is amazing. Somebody called they during the break and said that COVID was originated in a lab in North Carolina. But I want to repeat what you said, because it was how COVID was.
Yeah, so COVID was created in the P4L lab in Wuhan, China, and there's a researcher, she's a female doctor in China, and she spent her whole career mutating bat viruses or avian-borne viruses with human viruses. And the P4L lab had contained lots of deadly viruses that China thought that were contained, bird flu, et cetera, and they have had leaks. And so there was a young staffer there. I think she was 21. She was like patient 0. And China knew about it, and they didn't really warn the world, or they were forthcoming about it. But yeah, that's how COVID came about.
Yeah.
Am I not blessed to have such brilliance on a day where I sometimes sound like I didn't get, past 8th grade? You missed my very emotional open to the show, because I had to cut loose on the crime thing here. But wow, this is, I'm just going to sit and listen today.
And look pretty.
Well, yeah. Try not to be overwhelmed by my good looks, folks.
Well,
now
I'm right there with you, buddy.
The blockade, has that begun now?
It began at 9 a.m. Central Time this morning. Yes.
And I've been impressed. That was 7-8 hours ago. You haven't heard about any attacks, any fast boats, any drones. So I think the Iranians get the picture. They're like, there's a ceasefire going on right now, and neither side wants to be the one that breaks the ceasefire, because if they launch a fast ship or anything, they're going to pay. So
that's right. And that says a lot about the tenor that must have existed in Islamabad on Saturday in those negotiations from the U.S. side. They must have been really warned very harshly that any aggressive act to break this ceasefire will be met with overwhelming force. And it's obvious that they took that seriously, because, it would be really easy for them to, send missiles and drones to there's been several ships transit the strait today, and they haven't said boo to any of them. And nobody's paid a toll, they're just transiting the strait. And so something behind the scenes happened that we weren't informed about, at the end of that meeting, that really put some fear into this regime in Iran. And it's really remarkable how quiet it's been today.
Now, if the ships are passing through the strait, there's no incidents. Let's assume the best case scenario. I'm a never say die optimist. You know me. Will gas prices moderate? Will they will,
but they won't go back to so there's
Right.
moderation, and there's where we were before February 28th. We're not going to go back below $3. Okay. I don't think we're going to go back to $3 ever unless there's a global recession. Like, I think we've seen the last of gasoline prices below $3 at retail. Now, you might find some at Sam's Club or something, right? Those days might come back, but we were sitting at $63 West Texas Intermediate prior to February 28th, and about 68 Brent, the international price. I think the new floor for oil for the rest of this year, at least, and I think that means probably for the foreseeable future, is going to be around 80. So we're at 100, right around 100 right now as we speak. I think if everything ceased today and traffic went back to as close to normal as it could in Hormuz, today, you'd see oil go down to around 80. That's where I think the floor is going to be, just because we're going to still have an undersupplied market due to all the damage to the infrastructure that's been created. People need to. JP Morgan created a table that I meant to send over to you and forgot, listing over 100 facilities of infrastructure, refineries, pipelines, compressor stations, processing plants, on and on, export facilities that have been struck by Iranian missiles and drones during the course of this conflict. It's going to take years to repair all of it. It's going to take months to repair most of it. And that means, and it's also going to take time just to put the fields, the producing fields back into production that have been shut in. And so in Iran's storage is about to fill up now, because they're not going to be able to ship oil out. They're going to have to shut in their own fields. And in some of these fields, in these conventional formations, in the sand formations, when you shut those wells in, they start to lose pressure. And that means some of that production's not going to come back. So, we had 18 to 20 million barrels a day going through the Strait prior to the conflict. After a month or two after this ends, we might have 15 to 17 going through there. And that's going to mean a chronic undersupplied market going forward. So I just think 80 is going to be the new floor, not 60. And that means 3.25 is going to be the new floor for is not 275 in states like Alabama and Texas. And so I just don't expect to see $3 gas again anytime soon.
Trump will need to explain this so people understand it. They will, if it just stays high, they're going to, the Democrats, they'll come up with every crazy excuse in the books. This is why gas prices are high. We turned away a couple of tankers that were bound for China
today. Yes. Yeah. So, the blockade's already really in force, and they weren't Chinese flag tankers. Now, be clear about that. I'm not sure what country they were, but the oil cargoes were headed to China, and they got turned around. And so that's a provocative act, but what's China going to do about it? I think
the root cause is why they're closing the strait, why there's a blockade, is to clear it first.
Yeah.
So the Iranians acknowledged that they sent out boats with mines, but they didn't track them. So they're like, we put them out there, but we don't know where they are. And so we've got underwater drones and mine clearing ships. And so I think we've got to close it to ensure safe passage. And once the U.S. Navy and CENTCOM can say, hey, it's clear, then they'll start letting traffic transit.
The book Mining for Dummies is very specific about making sure you track where you leave them in case you have to go back and get them later.
Yeah.
How dumb is that?
Yeah.
Now, tell us about what you say you have a friend in Galveston. There's a ton of tankers that are trying to get to Houston for refining.
Yeah. In any emergency like this, supply emergency, you'll go to Galveston, and I've spent a lot of time in Galveston, and you can look out at the horizon and see a number of tankers just waiting, because they'll sit out there in the Gulf of America in the deeper water waiting for a refinery to say, okay, your berth is ready, you can come on in. And so some of them will sit out there for weeks at a time. And normally in the past, I always count them because I'm just fascinated with this, right? When I go down.
Sure.
And during normal periods of time, you might count 10, 12 tankers. Well, I talked to a buddy of mine on Saturday who lives down there. He said he got up on his balcony and looked out and started counting, and he stopped counting at 50. So
wow.
There's already a crowd.
Fox just reported 172.
Yeah,
headed
in our direction. Yeah, and a lot of those are VLCCs, which can carry as much as 2 million barrels of oil.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
But we can confirm that Joseph Hazelwood is not in command of any of these vessels.
For those who don't know, that's was the captain of the Exxon Valdez.
Yeah. That is quite astonishing. Though, have you imagined being a ship captain on an oil tanker in the Strait, and they're just been sitting there for 40 days, and it's just waiting. And now they're like, you know what? What's better than waiting? Let's go to the Gulf. And
might as well wait where you can actually get some oil.
But that's a long transit.
I know the one thing you never want to hear when you're on a tanker is a grinding sound, and then that's what you don't want to hear. Absolutely not.
Yeah, these tankers don't exactly go at the speed of a cruise ship. They travel 8 to 12 knots, and it takes a long time to transit the Pacific Ocean.
Well, an interesting thing, David, all of the information that you passed along and shared makes me feel less anxious. By the way, the overpriced gas station in town that I always use as my barometer, price came down a dime.
Oh.
There over the weekend. I mean, they raised the price when it was still in the ground, when this whole thing started, and it dropped 10 cents a gallon there. I hope that's a trend. But I'm feeling kind of like the market reacted today to the news, in that there is a plan here, and so far so good. And
well, I think knowing that the U.S. Navy has got control of this situation gives everybody a level of comfort. I mean, I don't think there's a more competent military unit or force on the face of the earth than the United States Navy. So, I mean, that always gives me a good feeling too.
All right, so we're going to pause on that topic for a moment, and I just saw an old clip of Eric Swalwell on CNN. You know what he reminds me of? He looks like the guy, especially with the beard. He looks like the guy that would be standing there in a dark suit near Al Capone. Like one of his. He's got that dead eye. Just a wretched human being, but he was on there saying how heartily he supports the Me Too movement. How's that working out for you now, Eric?
Yeah.
And David, this scandal with him could actually take down a few others. I'll bet Adam Schiff is. Well,
I bet Adam Schiff's pretty nervous. They've been buddies for a long time. Ruben Gallego, the senator from Arizona, is probably not sleeping too well at night. There's rumors that we're going to start hearing some things about Mr. Gallego too, and there'll be others. Let's face it. I mean, other than your Senator Tuberville, there's not a lot of fine, upstanding people in the United States Congress. These are a bunch of grifters and hound dogs, and so we're going to find out a lot about a lot of people.
I think what's most upsetting is people forget these staffers are typically young interns that have political aspirations, and they respect those or the elected leaders that they're working for, and that they've been taken advantage of. And in most of these situations, it wasn't consensual. So it's like, and it's not just one. I mean, you're hearing the number 50, and then you're hearing words like rape and sexual assault and sex workers, and that's just, I mean, it's all sin, but it's just egregious. And to take advantage of young women that respect you and want to enter the political arena, and they're forever tainted that I mean, it's upsetting.
He's going to fight these serious false allegations, but it's my fight, not a campaign's. He's going to feel very alone.
My big question is why is he only suspending his campaign from governor, and nobody, not a single Democrat politician, will encourage him to resign his seat in Congress?
Oh, that would jeopardize their control. They got to have that control.
That would leave an empty seat. They might even elect a Republican. Who knows?
Yeah. Right, exactly.
But you're absolutely right. Yeah, there should be strong cries from both sides to just get him out. I mean, it's just it's a criminal nature now. I mean, well, it's allegedly, right?
But he's hid under. I mean, this is not breaking news. I haven't heard anybody go, "Oh my God, I thought the guy was Mr. Clean."
Yeah,
he looks like he's up to something.
He's a thug and a dope and anyway.
So
I can't say what I really think of him on the airwaves.
Neither can I. Once again, we have something in common.
Hey, what's an FCC fine amongst friends?
Yeah. I'm sure our listeners will bail us out with a GoFundMe, right?
Yeah.
It's only $150,000. So I wonder who some of the others that. By the way, I also love this part of the story. He made his video statement from the home of some billionaire who then kicked him out.
And then kicked him out. Yeah, a billionaire had been allowing him and his family. Him and his family to live in this home in the DC area, and they're looking for other digs now. And let's also remember who also was a friend of Swalwell and a pretty good one. Our former Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
Who just was fired 2 weeks ago?
You know, we've had more reasons and more people to be disappointed in. I mean, I think Congress has underestimated the anger that they instigated when they failed to pass the SAVE Act.
Yeah.
How's that resonating, by the way, in Texas there? Are they trying to light a fire under Thune, or is he just
Cornyn,
oblivious?
you mean? Yeah, Cornyn's toast.
Cornyn.
He isn't going to win that runoff.
Good. One down.
But you
one to
ask
go.
how many we could expect to be caught up in it. Well, I don't know. I mean, Swalwell may end up being the only one because the media is going to, if for any Democrat that's a wrongdoer, they're
Yeah,
gonna
they'll
try to
circle
cover
the
for it.
wagons.
But Congress has this fund to pay off people bringing sexual related charges against members of Congress, and they've had
Right.
it for 15 years, but the public only found out about it about 5 years ago. They have paid out now 268 separate settlements, totaling I don't know how many millions of dollars out of that congressional fund. So that's a lot. I mean,
That's half a.
Yeah.
Assuming that there was one settlement, that's half of Congress.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Paying-
that's over a span of 15 years or so.
I wonder how
But
that
still.
system works.
Yeah.
If you get, God, is there any way, Freedom of Information Act or anything that we could find a way to get our hands on that? I would love to see that.
It's astonishing to me. And Congress has actually passed a law making that exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. They actually passed a law.
How sleazy can you get?
Yeah.
That a majority of Congress would even agree to do that.
It's just
wow.
Well, there was a motion in the House there was a vote on, rescinding that in the House of Representatives last year, and it failed. 357 of the 435 members of the House voted against that resolution.
Probably want to protect everybody's privacy, right? That's when privacy becomes important, when they're at the risk of exposure. So let's look at some of the collateral damage to Adam Schiff and Gavin Newsom, the head of the snake.
I don't know that this redounds on Newsom at all. It opens the field, though, in the race to replace Newsom. Tom Steyer, the billionaire, who's not a politician. He's sort of a left-wing version of Donald Trump. He's a lunatic about the climate alarm stuff.
Oh, God.
But he's also a capitalist who has made billions of dollars in the private sector. So he's completely different from your standard issue Democrat. And he's been running neck and neck with Swalwell, as the leading Democrat in that jungle primary. And then the other one you have that potentially could benefit is Katie Porter, the crazy lady who,
oh my God, that woman
abuses her staff and pours boiling water on her husband, and the Democrats just love, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't tell. I'm torn between thinking they're trying to rig this primary because this is all the Democrats that have revealed all this stuff about Swalwell. It's not coming from Republicans. So they're rigging this primary to try to make sure one of their Democrat candidates finishes in the two in that jungle primary. And I'm waiting for a shoe to drop about Steyer now, because he's not naturally a preferred candidate for the Democrats, because he's not going to be beholden to those people. And he's a multi-billionaire capitalist who, he'll be as crazy on the climate and energy as Newsom's been, but otherwise he may not toe the party line on some of this other nonsense. So I'm kind of waiting on a shoe to drop about Steyer as we witness the Democrats try to rig this thing for Katie Porter. I'm really on the fence about what's really happening behind the scenes in all this.
If anybody has ever personified the lunacy of the left as a candidate, it's this Porter woman.
Oh, God. She's just repugnant.
She looks deranged.
Yeah.
And apparently is. And yet she's running because the Democrats have such high standards for their candidates. What's the story? What's this rumor about Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego again? What are they?
Well, he's a big buddy of Swalwell's, and there's rumors that I don't know if you've seen the video clip of Swalwell with a couple of hookers in a hotel room that has made the rounds of social media. But there's a rumor that the person who took that video is the senator from Arizona. And I don't know if that's true or not, but Anna Paulina Luna, the congresswoman from Florida, has really been pretty blunt about, who she thinks was taking that video. And so
she's great, by the way. If you ever listened to her, she was
really
on Bill Maher the couple weeks ago, and she's great. Crime 101: do not video yourself.
It's just unbelievable how arrogant these people are. It's just
Yes.
And thinking they're bulletproof,
Well, I mean, they've enjoyed media protection. By the way, it's been fun watching Barry Weiss and the heads that are falling as she continues to change things at CBS.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and look at what 60 Minutes has been doing and CBS has been doing with Newsom on all the energy stuff. And that 20-minute report they aired last week about the bullet train to nowhere.
Yeah.
$130 billion boondoggle, and nobody can account for where all the money's gone. You'd have never seen that on CBS before Barry Weiss showed up.
No.
They wouldn't even sniffed at that story.
No, they would not have. Not at all. It's just amazing to see. And like I said, it's giving me some confidence that towards the midterms. Plus, the Democrats are polling so abysmally within their own party.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard to overcome. How gas prices, what an emotional thing it is for people, because people have to buy gasoline. I mean, it's there are people. I saw a guy make a comparison saying, well, people are happy to pay $2.25 for a 20-ounce bottle of water and $3.20 for a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Yeah.
But they're whining and moaning about $4 for a gallon of gas. And of course, the difference is people don't have to go to Starbucks to buy coffee, and they don't have to buy that bottled water. They can go to Sam's Club and get a case of it for $8. So
breaking news.
You have to have gas anyway.
Wait, take it down, quick.
Nice.
What's it say?
They heard us.
Shut up.
Eric Swalwell says he will resign from Congress. He will be out.
I'm not seeing that on Fox Business. Well,
Just
good.
out.
That's wild. See,
He was listening to News Talk. He's like, you know what? These guys are onto me.
We made him feel bad.
Yep, we're done.
We got to him.
Yeah.
We got to him. We got to
I
his
will
country.
guarantee you guys, he's made a deal that if he resigns, the Democrats won't release any further damaging information about him. Guarantee you that's the deal.
That's
We
all
won't
he's
hear
getting out of it?
Anything else about him?
Couldn't he still face possible charges,
Yeah,
especially with that sexual assault. I mean,
Well, he could. I mean, the Manhattan District Attorney is investigating him. Isn't this hilarious?
You mean fat ass Bragg?
Yeah, because some of this stuff he apparently did in New York City, in Manhattan.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Alvin Bragg put his fork down long enough to look into anything that was past his dinner table. Ooh.
But back to David's comment too, you really feel sorry for his wife and kids too.
Oh my God.
The fallout from that, it's
one day
obviously his wife has known about this for a long, long time, right? There's no way she couldn't have.
Well, one day you're a kid, you say, my dad is Congressman Eric Swalwell.
Yeah.
And then the next day, can I get a new dad? I mean, that what it does to them is, which makes it all the more reprehensible. So he's out.
She gone.
So do you think there could be enough disgust with this piece of work? Does Newsom replace the appoint the replacement, or is there a special election?
In California, they have to have a special election. I don't believe the governor can just plug somebody in there, but I could be wrong about that. In most states, the governor can appoint a temporary placeholder while a special election's being called and held. But I think in California, the governor isn't able to just plug a person into that seat.
I mean, they could have the election as soon as 30 days, and then 120 days after they finish counting, you got to replace
And they're going to be running for re-election again, yeah.
Wow. What an afternoon. During the show, it have so, and you heard it here first, man. You heard it here first. I'm going to go celebrate. David Blackman, we have one good long segment left, and I think we will have time to panic over the Yankees and boast on the Dodgers. That's the thing about baseball. Last week, the Yankees had the best record in the American League. And a week later, they're one game over 500, having lost 5 in a row.
Yeah,
they couldn't hit a bull in the butt with a bass fiddle. They're just,
but they might win their next 10 games too. You just don't.
That's
know.
the thing. Yeah, that's baseball. No, they just haven't hit this year at all. $360 million for a limp-wristed offense. Okay. I've expressed enough bitterness over that. We'll be back with David Blackman in a moment. To visit David online and subscribe to his great work. Look at all you've learned this afternoon in an hour already. I mean, come on. Visit David at davidblackman.substack.com. Sign up, subscribe, and get engaged with the intelligentsia.
Traffic continues to build this afternoon in Montgomery. East-South Boulevard are busiest spots at the moment. Second to those two, West Boulevard around I-85, Northern Boulevard light to moderate, I-65 and 85 light to moderate building traffic. And we're seeing a good bit of traffic. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka. We did have an accident earlier. Highway 82 at McQueen Smith Road in Prattville. Use caution in case they haven't cleared that one yet. We will keep you updated. McKinnon Toyota has the Toyota you want, plus small town service and the lowest tax rates in Alabama. Family owned and operated, it's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
News is brought to you by Adams Motorsports of Montgomery, where your pleasure is their business.
1819 News.
Former members of the U.S. House Freedom Caucus have gone on to form the State Freedom Caucus Network, which is designed to help affect state legislatures with conservative principles and causes. The State Freedom Caucus Network was formed in 2021 by Andrew Roth and former Congressman Mark Meadows. Roth says that there are 50 swamps in 50 state capitals that are more corrupt than D.C., and there are now 15 Freedom Caucuses formed within state legislatures throughout the nation. Some House Freedom Caucus former and current members like Barry Moore and Mo Brooks have looked into bringing this type of formation within the Alabama state legislature. However, Roth has studied the makeup of the Alabama state legislature and says that none of the current lawmakers are remotely qualified to be founding members of the Alabama Freedom Caucus. Roth called the Alabama legislature one of the most corrupt places and therefore a very difficult place to start a Freedom Caucus compared to other states. Roth said there is a minimum number of lawmakers needed to start such a caucus, and they have to be really hard-nosed and vocal conservatives who also know how to get elected and reelected. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Brian Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
Police are investigating a fatal hit and run that occurred in Muscle Shoals on Sunday night. A pedestrian was killed when a vehicle hit them on 6th Street. Police are looking for a white pickup truck with damage to the front right end. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
AdamsMotorsports.com on the web, or Adams Motorsports on the Boulevard in Montgomery. That's at Adams Motorsports in Montgomery, where your pleasure is our business. Come by and learn more about the new Suzuki GSX 8R motorcycle and see for yourself the bar has officially been reset.
Alabama weather will never fail to surprise you. Our lawns hardly get a chance to have any downtime, and as usual, it's already time to start getting ready for spring. This year, save the hard work and aggravation and call Alabama Lawns, the River Region's leader in weed control and fertilization services. What makes Alabama Lawns the River Region's best? It's the people. They have the experience, education, and commitment to customer satisfaction. Ask your neighbors. Alabama Lawns has been the Montgomery Advertiser's Reader's Choice Award winner 14 years in a row. The Alabama Lawn staff is made up of long-term employees and agronomy graduates, and the staff at Alabama Lawns attend annual continuing education classes. It pays to have someone that knows southern grass types and how to keep them green and flourishing. Call Alabama Lawns today at 272-7171 and let them show you real value in lawn maintenance service. Alabama Lawns, the company with black trucks and green lawns.
From weddings and concerts to cookouts and construction sites, TT Porta Toilets has been serving Central Alabama for over 30 years. Whether you need standard portable toilets with wash stations or upscale restroom trailers for special events, the Tierce family has the right solution for every occasion. So when you're planning your next big event or project, make it easy on yourself. Call 285-5513 or visit ttportatoilet.com. TT Porta Toilets. Clean, convenient, dependable.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
The employees of Adams Drugs would like to thank you for trusting us with your health care in 2025. We look forward to serving you and your family in 2026. You will continue to enjoy the same services such as immunizations, compounding, medication therapy management, delivery service, and wellness clinics, to name a few. Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one? Visit our Emily B. gift shop and find everything from Tyler candles to scout bags. Gift wrapping is available. If you have not visited Adams Drugs and experienced the award-winning customer service, we ask you to consider us for your prescription care in 2026. We have 12 convenient locations to serve you in the River Region. 8 in Montgomery, 1 in Wetumpka, Prattville, Millbrook, and Pine Level, Marbury. Please find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart. taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
How's the weather, Rich?
Great.
Any rain?
Nothing. Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Let's face it, you suck at golf, but now you can look like a Masters champion at Ugly Green Sport Coat Warehouse. We have the widest selection of bright green blazers that no one in their right mind would ever step out of the house wearing, but for some reason is the most coveted prize in golf. When you put on one of our ugly green sport coats, you'll feel like you've accomplished golf immortality, even though your greatest golf accomplishment was that one time you got 2 pars in a row. So come on down to Ugly Green Sport Coat Warehouse. You're gonna like the way you look, like a member of Augusta National, even though you're just an alternate in the Elks Lodge Thursday night 9-hole beer league. I guarantee it.
It is 4:46. We continue our tour of the seems to be growing, ever-growing American Idiocracy with our friend David Blackman, blogger extraordinaire from Texas, oil and gas industry expert, and Tom Moore, who has been beyond impressive today, sidekicking and answering the phone at 272-9228. In fact, if you want to get a call and talk to David, now would be a good time to do that. Let's talk about the Pope.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay,
what do you want to know?
We'll
I got opinions. Opinions.
I will make a comment based on one of my favorite scenes in the movie 12 O'Clock High, where a chaplain sneaks on board a plane to go on one of the bombing missions. And Gregory Peck is the general of the 519th or 509th. And when they come back, he sees that the father had gone on the mission. And he just looks at him and says, "Father, from this point forward, confine your actions to the theater of sin. Am I clear?" That's what I want to say to Pope Leo. What is all of this about? And is Trump,
so this is the second Pope, okay?
Yeah.
Who Trump has had to deal with, who is incredibly political. First was what's his name from Argentina, Francis. And now Leo, whose selection to begin with was purely political, obviously motivated by Trump's winning that election in 2024. And he is political every day. He's out in making comments on political matters. If you're going to step into the political realm, then you become fair game. It's like the Clintons. Prior to Hillary Clinton, who was overtly political, put herself out there as a political figure while she was first lady. But prior to Hillary Clinton, the media didn't really go after first ladies all that much. I mean, Gerald Ford's wife had Betty Ford had her problems with drug addiction,
right,
and alcoholism, and got some bad press. Nancy Reagan got bad press for consulting with an astrologer, but in general, they were treated like the children of presidents were treated. they're not political figures. Well, Hillary Clinton changed all that for first ladies, and Michelle Obama made it worse. And then, of course, Jill Biden. Well, anyway, I won't go there. But this Pope has put himself into the political realm, and he's going to have to get used to taking political criticism if he's going to do that. And I'm not a Catholic. I don't have standing to comment on matters of religion where Catholics are concerned. But when your Pope becomes a political figure, I mean, he just met with David Axelrod, Obama's chief of staff, last Tuesday, had a long 3-hour meeting with Axelrod, and suddenly 60 Minutes has a segment with 3 bishops, American bishops, on 60 Minutes on Sunday, 5 days later. And in between, you've got Pope Leo out there spouting all these Democrat Party talking points. So if your Pope's going to do that, then he's a political figure. He's going to be criticized by politicians who are tired of hearing his shtick.
Yeah.
And and Francis was the same way. Francis was a committed communist, Marxist theology, pusher. And if you're going to put a Pope like that, if you're going to put a priest like that as your Pope, then your church is becoming overtly political. And I think Catholics really, instead of pushing back in outrage against President Trump, ought to start pushing back at the Vatican, which has decided to become an ally of the World Economic Forum and all these globalist institutions, instead of a religious institution.
Yeah.
And so, when religious figures roam into the realm of politics, I got no problem with them being highly criticized by other political figures, because that's what Pope Leo has become.
I mean, he's all about, look, at least twice over this weekend, there were 2 news stories about illegal aliens killing. Why is it so difficult for the left or people to understand American citizens are being bludgeoned, viciously murdered by people that don't belong here? And if they're not here, then they can't be killing people. We have a process that needs to be respected. We're not saying no immigration. But let's
and by
let
the
in
way,
people.
the Catholic Church was heavily involved in facilitating the mass caravans of illegal immigrants coming up to this country during the Biden administration through Catholic Charities. Okay. So if your church is going to do that, that's a political action. You're going to take political criticism. I mean, I'm sorry. I love Catholics. I have a lot of Catholic relatives, have no problem with the Catholic Church as an institution, but this is politics. If you don't want your Pope criticized by politicians, then tell him to stay out of politics.
I want to be really clear on that too myself. I am not anti-Catholic at all. I've even married a couple. Well, maybe that's not the flattery that I thought it was going to be, but I've attended more masses and I've been involved with a whole variety of religions. Church is a sanctuary, so I have nothing against them, but I'm with you. They should confine themselves to the theater of saving souls and helping people find God, connect with Jesus. And that's their job, not to issue policies or make policy statements that have serious implications, because how is he going to know from the Vatican? The consequence, of course, being from Chicago, though, he's a Democrat.
Yes, of course he is.
Right from Mayor Daley's old neighborhood. But I got news for you. Daley was a Catholic, and Daley would never approve any of this garbage. Daley would have been dead against it. Because the Democratic Party, it's like we had a whole number of celebrities last week, from Bill Maher to others, on camera saying, I didn't leave the party left me.
Yeah.
We need more of them to say that. And we need to see consequences, because all we hear about is the civil war between MAGA and the Republicans. I don't think it's anything compared to the one going on in the Democrats, where it's between, somewhat leftist ideology to pull out communism. And they need to see the damage that's doing.
Yeah. I guess I should say one other thing about all this. Am I happy that President Trump wrote that post on Truth Social? No, not really.
No,
not really. I wish he would exercise better control over himself quite often, frankly. But with President Trump, you have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
And the good is overwhelming compared to the bad. And the bad is most often just stuff that makes liberals clutch their pearls and suffer a case of the vapors. And I don't care. But yeah, I mean, some of these posts I wish he wouldn't do, but well.
That's one of my favorite terms, a case of the vapors.
Case
hey,
of the
let's talk
vapors.
about another good Catholic, Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, yeah, sure. Devout Catholic, of course.
Who goes to communion every day just for the wine.
Yeah, they serve Smirnoff at communion, I guess, at her church.
So tell us about the documents that Tulsi Gabbard has released and the significance of that.
Well, it's documents and it's memos and other written communications between all the Democrats that led the impeachment, demonstrating that they knew that Eric Ciaramella, this CIA operative who became the star witness in that first impeachment, and really supposedly instigated the whole thing with his whistleblowing, which of course was suborned by Adam Schiff, and his script was written for him by Adam Schiff. They knew all about the guy. They knew he was a fraud. They knew he was lying, and they went ahead with the impeachment anyway, even after he had told them he wasn't going to offer public testimony to any of this because he wanted to recant. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just demonstrates again, which we knew at the time. Okay. We all knew at the time this was a complete fraud on the public and a hoax, just another Democrat hoax. But it just demonstrates again what a fraud the whole Democratic Party has been for the last 10 years related to President Trump. And people should go to prison for this because they held the whole country hostage with this hoax for 4 or 5 solid months, knowing that they can never get him removed from office in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing clearly they all knew what they were doing was an outright fraud. And I just, it's just another of 1,000 examples why people need to be going to prison. And, Pam Bondi wasn't going to do it. I don't know if what's his name, that's the acting AG, is going to do it. And I don't know if President Trump is capable of selecting an attorney general who's willing to go after these people for what they've done to our country.
Yeah. That has to be. And, the damage is so deep that no matter what proof they bring forward on this Ciaramella guy, there are people that won't believe it anyway,
Oh, yeah.
That was an insurrection and blah, blah, blah.
Right. Anybody watches MSNBC will be watching people saying, oh, it's, they're lying. He was real. It was all up on the up and up. And, if you get your news from those people, you're not going to think twice about this.
Anybody that knows conservatives and Republicans knows we don't have the slightest clue on how to riot or have an insurrection. We're too polite.
Yeah.
We don't roll that way. We're not wired that way.
We have jobs.
Even if we tried, it would be the lamest riot in the history of, CNN, MS Now, they'd all be laughing at us like this.
Bunch of guys in their wingtip shoes. And suits and
You scuffed my Brooks Brothers. But I do agree. Prison. Again, let's hope. Have you heard any rumblings on an appointment for Attorney General? Or is he too busy with Iran?
No.
Right now? All right, this brings us to the most important part of our segment with David Blackman on Monday through the Idiocracy. The official baseball team for the Idiocracy is the New York Yankees, who managed to spend $360 million to assemble a team that could not hit a bull in the butt with a bass fiddle. Case closed. The season's over.
That's not going to last. That's not going to last.
But it seems forever, even if it is only April 12th. No, they won a lot because they had super great pitching at the start. But every day I'm looking at it's the seventh inning. They haven't scored yet. And they're not playing the Dodgers. They're playing the Tampa Bay Devil Dogs or whatever team. They've just been absolutely pathetic. Cody Bellinger, we're paying $37.5 million for a 160 batting average. And but the Dodgers, on the other hand, they've already become a steamroller, and they haven't really gelled yet.
Yeah,
they could
the
be
pitching particularly hasn't really been stellar, but it's like the Dodgers lineup is so deep that it's one night Max Muncy hits 3 home runs, and the next night Teoscar Hernandez hits a homer and a double, and Ohtani leads off the game with a home run, and I really feel sorry for pitchers having to pitch against that lineup. It's just crazy.
Andy Pajas has been amazing, and he wasn't even expected to be a starter. Yeah. And they spend $60 million for I told you this guy is Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker,
yeah. He's
hitting 230.
Yeah, and that's probably what he's going to hit for the year too. Tom, any thoughts on baseball?
I'm an Aaron Judge fan.
So am I.
Boy.
Yeah,
big Aaron Judge fan. I'll tell you what. We got to close. They should stop with the World Baseball Classic. It takes big players away from teams at a point in spring training when teams need to gel and get a rhythm going.
I agree with you.
I'm sorry. They need to stop it. I don't care if Venezuela waves their flag in Miami or not. You're supposed to get ready for the season. Stop with the extracurricular bullcrap, Commissioner
we
Manfred.
own Venezuela anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we should put a team there. David, thank you as always. It's always a blast. And Tom, you were amazing. I am in awe of both.
You're a natural, man.
He is. I think I'm going to give him this show.
For a small donation.
What I need
has to have 7 zeros on the back end.
And by the way, can I show off this?
Yeah.
Tom's mom gave me this really cool $2 bill that's encased in acrylic. And what year was this?
I think it's a 53 series, is it? Or is it 63?
Wow.
It's a 53.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well,
that's
vintage. This dollar bill is older than I am. Stop that thing. I never lie. David, we'll see you Thursday, sir.
All right. Absolutely. I'll be here.
In the meantime, sign up for David at davidblackman.substack.com. And he's always good, but sorting the wheat from the chaff through this Iranian situation, oil, all of it. That's his career. That's his expertise. He is the Delkin Tomlinson of the oil and gas industry.
Well said.
I don't think I can pay him a higher compliment because they are the attorneys of the family law theater here in the River region. And if you have a crisis, divorce, separation, you never know. Look, the worst thing you can do is manage a crisis by yourself. I learned, actually in rehab, the process of learning to turn it over, to ask for help, to get it from people who are abundantly qualified to provide it. And you know what? When you give that issue to them, whatever it is, maybe somebody from the past who's trying to rewrite the rules that you had previously agreed on, they take care of it. See, because they can look at a situation from their perspective and expertise with hundreds of cases between the two of them and say, all right, here's where you're at and here's where we're going to get you. And this is how we're going to get there. Now we'll do our job and we'll let you know what you need to do when you need to do it. It's that simple. And you can move forward with your life and not sit through this emotional paralysis that can just tie you up and really, in many ways, set you back. Don't let it happen. If you're needing help with adoptions or blended families or you need a will done, they do that as well. They're just so good at what they do. And you'll feel better knowing that, all right, they've got this. That's what you want. Somebody can look you in the eye and say, we got this. You're going to be okay. 819-4810 is the number to reach out for a consultation or give to somebody who needs help. 819-4810 in the 334, or this web address, thealabamafamilylawyers.com, for Delk and Tomlinson, attorneys at law.
Representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
All right, we've got traffic, Wall Street Business, SRN News, then Brant McDonald.
We have a new accident right in front of Baptist South on East South Boulevard between Narrow Lane and Woodley. Please use caution. Very busy there, as well as East Boulevard, West Boulevard, TA Travel Center around I-65 doing a brisk business. I-65 and 85 loaded up, building traffic. Folks are getting off work. Roads are getting really busy. Travel Millbrook with Wetumpka reporting light to mostly moderate building traffic. McKinnon Toyota has all the specials from Toyota, plus small town service and family owned. It's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
With a Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew. The spring home buying season is off to a sluggish start.
The National Association of Realtors reports used home sales fell in March to their slowest pace in 9 months. Easing mortgage rates and more properties on the market failed to motivate home shoppers during what's traditionally the housing market's busiest time of the year. Existing home sales fell 3.6% last month from February. Sales also fell 1% compared to March of last year. Rich Thomason, Washington.
The administration has revoked Obama-era off-cycle credits that encourage automakers to install automatic start-stop systems that effectively ends the widespread use of the unpopular technology. Oil holding more or less steady, up $2 or $3 a barrel today, but on Wall Street, investors remained optimistic. The Dow closed up by 301 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
Montgomery Men's Health salutes the man everyone depends on. You, the grill master. Your family don't have to go out to eat. You carry the load. You solve the problems. Mr. Fix It. But when you're off, we all feel it. And what happens when the gas runs out? When the strength drops? When the transmission stalls? And I ain't just talking about your truck. Male performance is complicated. Treating low T and ED requires technical precision, and that's where Montgomery Men's Health shines. We've been conquering this since 2014, long before every strip mall had a low T sign. We started this clinic to level you up, to help separate fact from internet fiction, hype from the successful realities we see every day. What works 92% of the time versus what might work online. And we keep getting better. Better service, better care, better value. And for $99, you'll receive a lab panel in minutes and a consultation with our medical provider. Don't wait. Call 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
We know the businesses that keep our communities moving. We walk the same streets, shop the same stores, and support the same local families. Janney King franchise owners take pride in caring for the places they keep our hometown strong. With dependable service, attention to detail, and commitment to doing the things the right way, more businesses are choosing Janney King as their trusted local cleaning partner. Visit JanneyKingCleans.com today.
E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free. E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free.
At eBike Oasis, we're more than just Montgomery's best electric bicycle store. eBike Oasis offers free 1-hour electric bicycle rentals and a full-service electric bike repair shop. Stop by eBike Oasis in Montgomery today for free rentals, repairs, and electric bicycle brands in town.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says the American military has begun a blockade of Iranian ports. Trump's statement on Monday was part of his effort to force Tehran to open the Strait of Hormuz and accept a deal to end the war that's raged for more than 6 weeks. Iran responded with threats on all ports in the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, taking aim at U.S. allied countries. The House Ethics Committee has begun an investigation into whether Democratic Representative Eric Swalwell of California engaged in sexual misconduct toward an employee working under his supervision. The announcement by the panel Monday comes one day after Swalwell suspended his campaign for California governor. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 301 points. The Nasdaq rose 280, the S&P advanced 69. This is SRN News.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad, real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards. It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-936-5496.
Back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. That changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m. Rich Thomas Weather brought to you by M&M Outdoors. Book your stay today at MNMCampground.com for relaxation at its best. It's easy to find and hard to leave. M&M Outdoors, your home away from home.
How's the weather going to be here, Rich?
Fantastic.
And how's the weather going to be in other places?
Awful.
Thank you.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
And now, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I am Jeff Bezos, and I'd like to congratulate the brave crew of Artemis 2. 10 whole days in space. I mean, I can totally relate, having spent 10 whole minutes in space aboard my Blue Origin. You know, pretty much the same thing. And we shall never forget the names of these brave space pioneers, whoever they are. I mean, they're not exactly household names, like, I don't know, Katy Perry and Gayle King, and of course, Lauren Zero Gravity Gazonga Sanchez. No, I kid, of course. In all seriousness, Artemis 2 is the most consequential space mission of our time. And that's for one reason. It did not involve Elon Musk or SpaceX. Bang, zoom, to the moon, Elon.
Boy, the rivalry. You got all the money in the world, a thriving enterprise, on the path to maybe becoming the second, but all he's worried about is the rivalry with Elon. He doesn't want to be number two to anybody. And I guess that's got to be part of the deal when you're that wealthy. Never had the problem, frankly. Never wanted to be anybody else.
Mo money, mo problems.
So let's switch to this on our YouTube, Happy Hour with Greg and Pamela, as Tom Moore sidekicks with us today. He's been brilliant. Now, these two people who were arrested, and they're still looking for two more. This was a double shooting near Faulkner University. That's the first time I've seen that part of the story. So this isn't all happening in areas of town where things are run down or seedy, or you might think twice about even driving through. Near Faulkner.
I heard right before I came in that all of these are separate instances, but somehow related. All of the shootings this past weekend.
Well, if we had the manpower in the police department, we would probably be able to prevent some of this. Because word gets out, there's going to be gatherings or something that's going to be troublesome, and maybe they could stop some of it, but no confidence right now in anything going on. Got to get David Thrasher back in this Wednesday for more on that. Right now, I'm going to take a wild guess here. We're welcoming Mr. Right on the Money, Brant McDonald from Invista Advisors. Hey, Brant.
Hey, Greg. How are you, buddy?
Good. Interesting day. Starting out the morning, the Dow was looking mighty grim, and then as the day moved along, all the indexes seemed to finish in green territory today. We have good news. Eric Swalwell is resigning from Congress, so it's a happy Monday, a day to celebrate, except for gas prices and so forth. But tell us how the day played out in your universe.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. No problem. First, let me just say I've got about 5 minutes, maybe 6. I'm on a kind of a hard stop, but
okay.
Just first of all, we have to rewind back to Friday. You look at that CPI number, that was a big number that we had been waiting for. And it came in pretty hot. I mean, it was below the estimate, but barely. So I guess if there was some good news, that was it, right? I mean, anytime you miss the estimate, but the problem with estimates around that March CPI report was the fact that we had, such a monstrous move in crude oil and gasoline prices, and all these economists are trying to figure out just where that headline number would go. Anyway, it was up 0.9%, pretty big number, but as I said, a little bit less than the estimate. The core number was in the 3s. No matter how you slice it or dice it, this is not an inflation number that is going to warrant a rate cut. That's just, period, end of discussion. So anyone that thinks that Warsh, the new Fed chair, is going to come in May and just start cutting interest rates around numbers like that, they're wrong. That is not going to happen. It can't happen. And it's just another reason why we need to get this war over with. So, but you go through the weekend, come out on Monday, and I think the thing that was front and center for everyone was worrying and a little concern about, this naval blockade. Would that result in some sort of escalation? It kicked off at 10 o'clock Eastern time this morning, and all throughout the day, it was pretty much crickets. There were no big, huge revolutionary types of events, and I think that was a sort of a breath of fresh air, and everyone kind of was able to exhale, if you will. And then too, I think that it's pretty clear the Iranians are wanting to come back to the table and try to revisit this thing and see if we can't work something out. And I do think that we're going to reach a resolution. I think this was a smart move by President Trump on the blockade because they were trying to use that strait as leverage in the negotiations, and basically they've just taken it from them. That was one leverage point they just took off the table. So we'll see how things shake up on that front over the course of the week. I would say as far as data this week, keep in mind, we're going to have a slew of earnings all week long. We're going to continue to get earnings primarily from financial companies, financial services early on. That'll be important because, as I always say, we get good color and visibility around the health of the consumer with consumer debt. But we're also going to get a lot of color and visibility as well around this private credit crisis that continues to brew. And so that will be very important. Let's see, I think it's tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow we get the Producer Price Index for the month of March. And so keep in mind that's usually a leading indicator for consumer prices. And so we'll see what the PPI number has to say in the morning. Outside of that, not a whole lot. We get some beige book data, which is pretty standard type stuff. We get jobless claims, which we get every week. But we'll be looking into all that data and earnings, Greg, as we go through the week.
Quick question. When is Elon going public with his company? When is that IPO?
So he filed the IPO last week, and it was very interesting. It looks like a target range of around $1.75 trillion. The timing on it is going to be June, say mid to late June. It could slip into July. Just depends on how things are going. They'll get out on the road. They'll do their road show. I'm sure it'll be oversubscribed. As you know, SpaceX, privately held for years and years. The last time they had any sort of an equity round in the private markets, the valuation of the company was marked at $800 billion. So to come out and do an IPO or initial public offering at $1.75 trillion more than doubles the value of the company in a year's time, which is pretty substantial. The other thing to note about SpaceX too, there's a lot of chatter out there that they may merge with Tesla after the IPO to combine those two companies into one sort of mega behemoth size company. And it does make sense to me that they would do that because it would be one of the most powerfully vertically integrated companies on planet Earth. Everything from the space, obviously space technology, Starlink, the artificial intelligence platform that he's built, and then all of the robotics and various pieces of hardware that would be on that system. You're talking about a very powerful company. So we are definitely watching that one super close.
Who's underwriting that IPO?
Oh, it's a broad. You're going to have. They're all. If you look at the syndicate, the ones who are going to quote what we call run the books, you've got all the big ones, the Goldman, Morgan, B of A, Merrill. They're all in the underwriting as far as the co-managers of the syndicate, and then there will be a massive selling group of other smaller broker dealers. I would imagine it could go as high as 25 to 30. This will be the biggest IPO in history, so every one of the investment banks in the U.S. will have their hand in that.
I've always been frustrated in the past where you hear about these great IPOs and you want to get in, but it's like the rich get richer. It's certain firms that have access to the IPO early, where they're getting it for cheap, and then those IPOs come out sometimes like 10 times, 20 times what they paid for them. So it's always frustrating for the layman to get in on it.
Yeah, I hear you, and I would say, one thing to remember too, institutions obviously already own large chunks of the stock. There are ways to indirectly own SpaceX. As a matter of fact, our clients, practically all the clients that are listening to me right now, actually own SpaceX in a default sort of way through a fund that we recently acquired. And I don't want to mention the name over the air because I don't want it to come across as giving everyone advice to go out and buy this fund. But certainly people who want to know about that can give me a call.
3870094, by the way, folks.
Yeah, this particular fund owns almost 30% of the entire fund is SpaceX. And another 28% of the fund is Tesla, and it's a fund that is available right now that you don't even have to use our firm. You can go online and go direct, and the fund has been around for decades. So but yeah, I hear you loud and clear. But there are ways to try to get indirect exposure.
Brad, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and we got to get you back in the studio one of these days. Let's work on that.
We will do it, my friend. I promise you, we will do it.
Take care.
Y'all have a great evening.
You too.
You too. He is one amazing guy.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
We'll hit the traffic dungeon here in a
Is it
moment.
time to go home and put on my good boobs?
Probably not. You'll have to stay with what you have. It's not that far away. I have a little investment advice, and this I have been offering for over 15 years. And that's a Clark's Club membership. It's a $180 investment. For that, twice a year before each seasonal weather change, like if you were to join the Clark's Club today, they'll come out, examine your system, make sure you're ready for the hot weather season, that your coolant's adequate, there's no major components about to fail, and you're not wasting energy. And then they'll come back in the fall, get you ready for the cooler weather season. And this time of year, where not so much lately, but we were going between turning on the heat at night and turning on the AC during the day. Wear and tear on the system in the South. It's just the way it is. They also employ, I lack the vocabulary to describe their plumbing skills adequately, but I can tell you this. They've troubleshot so many situations for me. With the Clark's Club membership, plumbing, that's usually something that needs to be addressed quickly. You don't want to have to be reading online ads and searching for who's going to fix the problem. You just call 277-2125 and Clark's will have somebody on the way to get to work on the problem. That's what you need. That's the biggest benefit of the membership, is that guarantee of priority service, plus the savings you get on an efficiently running system. And by the way, you can still buy a unit through Clark's at 0% financing. Great names in the comfort business. They do the installation. They follow up on any warranty work that might be needed. So they're with you from beginning to end. And the new systems can literally cut your power bills in half because they're so efficient. And they ultimately then pay for themselves. Mine did. And I got a good system too. And the same price you'll get it. 277-2125, ClarkComfort.com, Alabama certification number 09098. You may want to go home and change your boobs now because we're ready for traffic.
We have an accident, I-85 northbound, just past Taylor Road. That's already a slow point in the afternoons as well, and traffic is really moving slow, Bell to Taylor to Chantilly. We've also got an accident in front of Baptist South on East South Boulevard. Hoping that one is being worked and maybe out of the way, but you'll have to use caution there. Very busy along East South Boulevard, East Boulevard, West Boulevard. I-65 and 85 at the interchange loaded up. 65 northbound busy. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to mostly moderate traffic. If you have less than perfect credit, McKenna Nissan may have just the plan for you. Talk to David and explore all your options. They'll do everything possible to have you driving today. McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up with the Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
And now, Dad Joke Theater.
Daddy, why do scuba divers roll backwards into the water?
Because, my dear boy, if they rolled forward, they would fall into the boat.
Join us again for another Dad Joke Theater.
You can't control interest rates. You can't control housing inventory. And you definitely can't control what the national news decides to panic about this week. But here's what you can control. You control your timing. You decide when it's the right time to buy, when it makes sense to refinance, and when to tap into your equity to renovate, invest, or consolidate debt and free up monthly cash flow. Real estate decisions aren't one size fits all, and they shouldn't be driven by headlines or social media noise. They should be based on your goals, your finances, and your life. The smartest moves happen when you focus on what you can control and work with someone who helps you see the full picture. Give us a call at Alabama Home Mortgage today at 334-567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Today is National Scrabble Day, and we're going to celebrate with the ultimate Scrabble game coming up in just a couple of minutes with Norm McDonald. It's 5:28.
Alabama weather will never fail to surprise you. Our lawns hardly get a chance to have any downtime. This year, save the hard work and aggravation and call Alabama Lawns, the River Region's leader in weed control and fertilization services. What makes Alabama Lawns the River Region's best? It's the people. They have the experience, education, and commitment to customer satisfaction. Ask your neighbors. Alabama Lawns has been the Montgomery Advertiser's Reader's Choice Award winner 14 years in a row. The Alabama Lawn staff is made up of long-term employees and agronomy graduates, and the staff at Alabama Lawns attend annual continuing education classes. It pays to have someone that knows southern grass types and how to keep them green and flourishing. Call Alabama Lawns today at 272-7171 and let them show you real value in lawn maintenance service. Alabama Lawns, the company with black trucks and green lawns.
This is Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. If you're in outside sales and feel your income's capped, it might be time for a change. At Blue Water, top performers build strong books of business and create real income by helping local companies grow through radio and digital marketing, including social, streaming, and targeted campaigns. You'll prospect new business, manage your own accounts, and control your earning potential in a performance-driven environment. We're looking for motivated, experienced sales professionals who are ready to be rewarded for what they produce. If that sounds like you, send me your resume today at bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
So I decide I'll go, my buddy tells me, he goes, hey, you should go to one of them bed and breakfasts. You ever hear tell of that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. The idea is you go there, it's a guy's house, and you live in his room, and then he makes some breakfast.
Right. Great.
Yeah. It's a thumbnail.
Yeah, that's it, sure.
So I looked one up on the internet there, and I found one. I went to Vancouver Island, Victoria, which is beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, my God. It's God's little country. And so I go there, and I look up my place where I'm supposed to go. I have it on a little piece of paper. And I knock on the door, right? And there's no answer. So I knock again, and there's still no answer. So finally, I look like in the window there, and there's an old man sleeping on a couch,
Yeah.
So I bang on the door, ringing the doorbell, So finally I hear like, hey, keep your pants on there, from the inside. And he comes to the door, old guy, but I'd say 80, 85 years old. Old Harold Delaney was his name.
Harold Delaney.
Yeah, nice enough gentleman, And so I got in there and I says, well, I better go to sleep. There's no one else there, Like, I thought it'd be like a whole bunch of people in different rooms,
Yeah.
And it was just me.
Yeah.
So I go up and I go to sleep, and I'm ready to go to sleep. And a knock comes on the door, right? A knock on my bedroom door.
Right.
So I figure, uh-oh, old Harold Delaney wants to have sex with me there. And,
That's the first thought that went through your mind, huh?
well, I'm a young fella. These days, anything
not a
goes.
bad-looking guy, sure, yeah.
Not a,
Traveling alone, why not?
sure. And of course, I didn't come to Victoria to have sex with old Harold Delaney. I came to do some sightseeing.
Of course.
Yeah. So then I hear him, he goes, well, you ought to play some Scrabble.
Oh, Scrabble.
Yeah, so I say, okay, that's good.
Sure.
I'll play some Scrabble. So I go down, and he pulls out this old Scrabble game there, and we start to play, and I like Scrabble, So I get the first turn, because I picked the lower letter, and so I get the first turn. So I make rabbit,
Pretty good.
It's a good word. And then I do it pretty quick. I take like a couple of minutes, and then old Harold Delaney, he takes like a half hour to get his word. And the whole time he's not talking, he's not telling me old stories. I like hearing old stories, And instead, it was like for a half hour, it's just Harold Delaney going. So then after a half an hour of that, I'm just sitting there, he comes up with his word, it's hat. His word, yeah, hat. So he puts it, and he takes the word hat, and then he puts it like way in the corner on that triple letter score.
Right.
The triple word, the red one that you want to get to.
Yeah, sure.
But you can't just put it there.
No. It's got to have some relation to rabbits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to move up there, and finally get to there. But instead, he just puts it right there.
Oh, no.
So I go, all right, you know. And so then it's my turn, you know. I do something, and quickly, and then again, the same thing, like, you know. And then time going by, and then every word, and I was coming up with good words. You know, I had sleigh, you know, a sleigh ride, and avocado.
Whoa.
It was a 7-letter word.
Yep.
You get 50 extra points. I'm still way behind him.
He's just freelancing the board.
Yeah. And so finally I decided I gotta say something, you know? So and all his words were like cup and hat, and I think it was just like things he'd see around the room. And so I'm playing excellently. I should be in the lead, but instead I'm like 1,000 points behind. And finally, I gotta say something, you know? So he puts boot, you know, up on this triple, and it really annoyed me because I was building towards the triple letter. And he just puts boot, and so I said, finally, I gotta say something here. And I go, hey, old Harold Delaney there, I don't know, you can't put boot there. And then he goes, you never heard tell of a boot? So I go, no, I know what a boot is. I'm just saying. If a fella goes out there to wear a boot. So I go, no, I know what I made avocado. I know a boot. And it just took him forever. And also I noticed a weird thing. There were no blanks. You know how you have the blanks in the game, and it's always good to use any letters, right? Yeah. I realized there's no blanks in this game, and I figured old Harold Delaney must have, when he got the game, figured, that the hell is that, you know, and throwing it. Yeah.
It is National Scrabble Day.
If you suck at Scrabble because spelling is hard, Mattel is launching a new version that's more fun. Scrabble for dumb people.
That's spelled D-U-M. 6 points. Who's the dummy now?
No need for an 8th grade education or even a dictionary.
S-K-U-L. School.
Scrabble for dumb people.
I win again.
Because everyone deserves a chance to spell success.
Oh, yeah.
Let's play Scrabble against the young woman. Yesterday, I had to stop at a store for something, but this particular department was not open. But there were people behind the partition. I said, is the drive-thru open? No. We be closed for lunch. I want to play Scrabble against her. Who's on the phone?
New caller.
A new caller. Good afternoon.
Hey, guys. I just want to say Swalwell, I guess, is going to drop out of the governor's race in California.
He's already out, and he also resigned his seat in Congress.
That's right. And I'm just wondering, how long is it going to take for Ilhan Omar? She should drop out and go leave the country.
She should be deported.
Deported. I mean, and maybe they'll do that. I mean, they need to. I don't know why they're lacking the guts to do it, but yeah, that needs to happen.
Hey,
and there's more beyond those two.
I do want to give a thumbs up to Marco Rubio, our Secretary of State.
He's great.
He took Somali descendants or relatives that are totally against America that lived in California.
Yeah, they were the nieces.
Go on back.
Of Soleimani, that general that we took out, and yeah, they're on their way home. They're not thanks for the call. And that's the tragic irony in all this is that the general, a terrorist general who got many Americans and many thousands of people killed and hates America, doesn't mind having a niece and her kids living large in LA. How does that happen? Who was president when they came into the country? How was that possible?
Sure, Biden.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
How that guy ever shows his face in public, that's an act of, that's a quantity of chutzpah I didn't know existed. When you were, Tom Moore, our sidekick, a military veteran with an incredible service record, flying F-15s in 3 different theaters of combat, right?
Just 2, Iraq and Afghanistan.
That's enough.
But sometimes American. No, just kidding. No, I flew with the Saudis for 14 months. So they bought $32 billion worth of F-15s, and part of that deal was that we would train them how to fly them. So I flew in that AOR, and then I flew in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Flying one of those things has to be exciting at a level I can't even comprehend. But what I want to know is, in that area, that's not exactly Disneyland over there. What did you guys do to kill the downtime?
You know, it's funny. We didn't have a lot of downtime. So our combat sorties were like 9 and 10 hours long. And so then you would come back and rest. We would have, so they give you crew rest. So they give you have to have a certain number of hours before your next sortie. So it's, if you would fly 10 hours, you wouldn't fly the next day necessarily, but they would put you on other duty, like mission planning, running the duty desk. And then you'd occasionally get like a day off, like once out of every 7 to 10 days deployed. You'd catch up on laundry, read the mail, go to the gym. Not a lot of downtime.
Was it difficult to teach the Saudis how to fly those planes?
So the Saudis are very gracious hosts. Their priorities in life are much different than Americans. And I can't fault them for that. So they put God first, or Allah in their case, which very commendable. Second is their family, and then it's service. So their military will never be at our level because of those priorities. So they spend their time to God. I mean, we would be taxiing out. They'd stop the jet to pray. They pray 5 times a day. It's at different times. It's based, on the moon and the calendar. And then they would want to cut the debrief short and go spend time with their family, which you can blame them. So it was challenging, I would say that, because their priorities were elsewhere, where they don't necessarily want to be the strongest air force or combat power. But very gracious host. I was adamantly against kind of going on that assignment, but it turned out to be a blessing. Some of the guys I flew with have come here for war college. Some of them are now generals in the Saudi Air Force. The king's brother right now, I trained him how to fly.
I finished doing the narrations for this year's Gathering of Eagles event, which is next month, but the people they're honoring and reading what these people accomplished or sacrificed. One of the honorees was in the Hanoi Hilton, a prisoner of war in Vietnam for 2,700 days.
Yep.
We get impatient when there's somebody in front of us in line at the grocery store.
Yeah.
How does a human being, plus the torture and everything else that they went through, think about that? How many years is that?
I visited the Hanoi Hilton last year. I went in it, and it was eerie. And so in my shop, I have a Gathering of Eagles print from 1986, and they're all aces from World War I all the way to Vietnam. And the last one is Robbie Reisner. And I met him before he passed, and he signed his book all through the night. He was in Hanoi Hilton for 7 years.
Do you know who Joe McConnell is in aviation lore?
I've heard the name.
He was a Sabre jet ace.
Yeah, F-86.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always liked that plane, too, by the way. I always said that was a beautiful jet. May not have been the powerhouse that others were, but combat footage of Sabres and MiGs is always intriguing because they're moving at such fast speeds, and that was before you had a little help from missile guns.
Right, it's all guns.
Yeah.
No, it's great. If you're ever in the shop, you'll see
Ted Williams.
these are all hand signed. I've got Pappy Boynton, Robbie Reisner, Steve Cunningham, Chuck Yeager. It's all from the 1986 Gathering of Eagles. Some guy had it on Facebook Marketplace for like $200. I was like, yeah. And then that year, there's a biography, extended biography that they put in a book that goes in the back, and he didn't know it. It was sealed in a minute envelope, and Ronald Reagan had signed it because it was.
I have one from a couple of years ago that was presented to me for narrating, and I hope to attend this one. It's
They're phenomenal. You should go.
But when you read the narrations, you feel like, what have I done? Look what these people did in service to the country. The first woman to become a certified pilot with no arms. And the thing she accomplished above and beyond that, she's one of the honorees this year. Just some amazing human beings.
Yeah, I hope you have a chance to attend. It's one of the best things that Air Command and Staff
I did
College
2 years
puts
ago.
on. Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. And it's wow, you eat well, that's for sure. But God, if anybody deserves a great meal, it's these folks. It's 5:44. We got to go back to the traffic dungeon, and we have another 15 minutes with Tom Moore before we wrap it up. I have no idea where it's going, but we'll get there.
We have an accident on Taylor Road right near AUM. Please use caution there. We're hoping they have cleared the accident east-south Boulevard in front of Baptist, but we're still seeing a backup there, so please use caution. Also, I-65 northbound, if you're headed to Clanton, they have a very bad accident just before Clanton. 65 northbound is shut down there. Traffic is backed up for miles, and a lot of people are taking Highway 31 at Pine Level to skirt by this accident if they're going up that far or further. Keep that in mind if you're traveling northbound on 65, and keep it here for updates. High school students, Trenton State Community College dual enrollment program lets you earn college credit while you're still in high school. Take the first step towards your college journey. Go to trentumstate.edu for more information. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
News is brought to you by Bath Innovations. Call Bath Innovations today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. 4 people were killed in 7 separate shootings between Friday afternoon and Sunday morning in Montgomery. The Montgomery Police Department called a press conference Sunday afternoon to address the deadly violence. Chief Grabois stated none of the shootings were related, but the victims and suspects in all 4 homicides knew each other. Legislation requiring the Montgomery Police Department to increase its number of officers or face takeover by the state has failed to pass. The bill would have allowed the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency to assume control of the Montgomery Police Department if they were unable to meet staffing requirements. Mayor Stephen Reed criticized the measure as overreach from the state. MPD reportedly has about 230 officers, understaffed by roughly 40%. Montgomery police have made an arrest following a fatal Friday afternoon shooting. The incident happened near I-65 in the 1000 block of West-South Boulevard, where 28-year-old Martavius Langford was shot and killed. 30-year-old Adrian Jackson has been arrested and charged with capital murder in the case. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Bath Innovations of Alabama can replace your old bathtub with a low-step shower featuring built-in seating, secure grab bars, and slip-resistant flooring, often installed in as little as 1 day. Call Bath Innovations of Alabama today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here in the River region, thousands of hardworking folks will be buying a home, some for the first time. How do you know you are buying the right home? It starts with research. A buyer's agent can help you in your search, providing a list of homes you may not be aware of or know about. At the same time, a meeting with a local lender to find out exactly what you qualify for and how much it will cost at closing and monthly. A list of needs and wants provided to your agent will help them locate properties that match those needs. An example would be bedrooms, baths, school zones, floor plan requests will also help. Start shopping and look at homes and compare and make a list of pluses and minuses for each home. Compare them with your agent to narrow the field. After you work out the contract, appraisals and inspections come next, and then the closing. For more details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883. That's 221-2883.
What does it mean for a nation to be successful? I'm Stephanie Bryan, Tribal Chair and CEO of the Poarch Creek Indians. We believe a successful nation gives back. As we've built economic opportunity and prosperity, the Poarch Creek Indians have been able to give back to our neighbors in Alabama and beyond. More than $37 million since 2021 alone. From education and health care to tornado relief, learn more about our charitable giving at PoarchCreekIndians.org.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you?
look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to schedule your spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give them a call at 334-277-2125.
First of all, let me
Alabama
thank Rich.
certification number 88007.
Sorry, Jay. Let me thank Rich Thomas for being with us this afternoon.
What else is on?
Nothing. We're it. Is the weather going to continue to be nice?
Hell yeah.
Good. See anything on the horizon that looks ominous?
Nope.
Okay. Is it going to be nice in Paris?
Oui, oui.
Thank you.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix. The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension of only sleight of hand, but no mind. A journey into a dubious land whose boundaries are that of imagination. The signpost up ahead warns of a sharp turn to the left. You've just entered the liberal zone.
And will that be all for you today?
No. Give me all your money.
Here, take it all. Take it, please, please. My gift to you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this security camera videotape clearly shows the defendant, John Taylor, robbing the grab-and-go market at gunpoint. Your Honor, I rest my case.
Just a moment. Did you have permission from the defendant to videotape him?
Well, no, Your Honor.
Then I'm afraid I'll have to disallow this videotape to be used against the defendant, since you willfully violated his constitutional right to privacy in public places. Case dismissed.
Excuse me, Your Honor, what constitutional right to privacy in public places?
Oh, don't you know? It's all the rage in France right now. In fact, just the other day, I was talking to my good friend, Judge Pierre Fragois, and he said...
Brian Jones, a lonely city prosecutor, has just had his world turned upside down by a crazy judge with a living constitution. Something which only makes sense in the liberal zone.
Hey, welcome back. It is 5:51 on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV. Let me check headlines for any last-minute hit. Eric Swalwell, that's the big story this afternoon. He's not only dropped his gubernatorial run, he is resigned from Congress. Oh, and somebody on The View said his alleged behavior was, well, if he resigns, all I know is that if I was accused of doing something I didn't do, you don't ever want to do that to me. That's when I go ballistic. I mean, I'll own I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of things wrong. I know it's hard for anybody to believe that's listening, but I have. But I've owned it. In fact, some of the dumbest things I've ever done in my whole life have become lame-ass stories on the radio. It's just, that's how you turn a profit on a mistake, ultimately. Let's see. Popular Mexican food franchise under fire from far left over its CEO backing Trump. Well, guess what? Every Trump supporter needs to find out the name of this joint and go spend their money there. That should be a plus, not a minus. The left, half the places they boycott, they wouldn't walk in a million years of evolution. Oh, violent scene in Minneapolis. Well, that's the home for it. Katy Perry denies. Who cares? Just checking the headlines here. Trump gets his favorite fast food delivered to the Oval Office by DoorDash grandma. I like the fact, I thought the coolest thing Trump did in his first term, I think he had Alabama's championship football team into the White House. when the Democrats give them permission to visit. And he did, it was all McDonald's.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a sea. I would love that.
I watched it today. It was good. So she was there to thank him for no tax on tips. She's a DoorDash.
Oh, yeah.
She, I mean, can't just DoorDash up to the White House, but they let her in. It was, but it was good.
Husband faces deadline. That's that Bahamas thing. I'm not that interested. Aubrey Plaza. Haven't heard about her in a while. Oh, she's having a baby with a boyfriend after her estranged husband's death. There's something, I'm not saying she did anything, but if there's somebody in Hollywood that looks like they may have inadvertently murdered somebody, it's Plaza. She always has that look on her face. I like her, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking her. I'm not saying she did anything. But she does have that, you're not too sure about her look, Let's see.
Have you watched any good series or movies recently?
Yes, Three Pines.
Three Pines. What service is that on?
I wish the movie Maven was here today. I think it's on Hulu.
Okay.
Or Prime.
Three Pines.
The key to the whole thing, it actually has some annoying people in it, and the casting is kind of woke. But the detective, and I can never remember his name, Master Thespian's a big fan. The guy that plays the detective is so compelling. He's so good. He's not handsome. He's not, it's not sizzle and flash like High Potential. It's just really.
I should check it out.
Yeah.
Have you seen, do you have Apple TV?
No.
John Hamm's in one called Friends and Neighbors. But it only comes out one episode every Friday. So we've been doing that. We finished up Shrinking, which is on Apple TV
I heard
as
that
well.
was good.
That's got Harrison Ford in it. And then we just started last night the Madison, which is a
Donnie Turner recommended that to me. So I've got that on my check it out list.
Yeah.
Speaking of checking out, it's that time, and boy, there's a lot of crap going on in traffic. So let's get the skipper first and find out where it is.
Well, first of all, if you are headed northbound on I-65, they had a very bad accident near Clanton. Traffic's backed up several miles. Folks are taking Highway 31 exit Prattville, heading through Pine Level to get around this accident or sit dead stop at the moment on 65. Also, we have an accident now, Ryan Road at Chantilly Parkway. Use caution there. An accident on Taylor Road right near AUM. And we had an accident earlier, Baptist South, right in front of it on East South Boulevard. Hoping that one has cleared. Use caution. Traffic very busy all over the area. Thompson Tractor is going to have deep discounts on used equipment April 23rd at 11:30 a.m. Skid steers, excavators, dozers, aerial lifts, and more. Thompson Tractor off I-85 past Chantilly Parkway on Highway 80. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Montgomery Men's Health salutes the man everyone depends on. You, the grill master. Your family don't have to go out to eat. You carry the load. You solve the problems. Mr. Fix It. But when you're off, we all feel it. And what happens when the gas runs out? When the strength drops? When the transmission stalls? And I ain't just talking about your truck. Male performance is complicated. Treating low T and ED requires technical precision, and that's where Montgomery Men's Health shines. We've been conquering this since 2014, long before every strip mall had a low T sign. We started this clinic to level you up, to help separate fact from internet fiction, hype from the successful realities we see every day. What works 92% of the time versus what might work online. And we keep getting better. Better service, better care, better value. And for $99, you'll receive a lab panel in minutes and a consultation with our medical provider. Don't wait. Call 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the group and ourselves. I hope we pass the auditioning.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California has announced he will resign from Congress following multiple sexual assault allegations that prompted loud bipartisan calls for him to step down. The decision Monday caps a swift political fall for the 7-term lawmaker who had been seen as a frontrunner in California's gubernatorial race before dropping out as the allegations surfaced, claims he has continued to deny. President Trump says the American military has begun a blockade of Iranian ports. Trump's statement on Monday was part of his effort to force Tehran to open the Strait of Hormuz and accept a deal to end the war that's raged for more than 6 weeks. On Wall Street, the Dow by 301 points, the Nasdaq rose 280, the S&P advanced 69. More details at srnnews.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $8 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
CB&S Bank, serving families and communities since 1906. Proud to be named 16th best performing bank nationally in their asset category by American Banker. Learn more at cbsbank.com. CB&S Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The following was previously recorded. No phone calls, please. The following is a paid program by Ernest Financial. The views and opinions are solely those of the hosts and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Mulligan tells me you buried your wife several years ago.
Oh, yes, I had to. She died.
This is the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
And now,
because it's the law. Here is your legal disclaimer.
All matters discussed on the Health and Wealth Show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented by the Dead Sexy David Ernest are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to their accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our highly qualified representatives prior to implementation, and that is your legal disclaimer.
Stand by for action.
Hello, Doc.
Hello. Hello, Americans. I got a fever, and the only prescription is for
Health and Wealth Show with David Ernest.
Now 99% fat free.
The sky dark and gray. For a week now it's been raining every day. But the Kansas City kid is on the couch still trying to rope astray. Well, he's Crockett, he's Custer, Hickok's right-hand man. He's trying to team the West, the bomb don't seem to understand. He's told him to get ready, it's more than time for bed. How he wishes he were free, he was simply born to be a cowboy.
And welcome back to another Health and Wealth Radio show. I'm David Ernest. We have a distinguished guest who's also a singer-songwriter from the good old days of recording back in the 70s. Ron Singer. How you doing, Ron?
Doing fine. Back in the vinyl days.
Back in the vinyl days.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's all crazy days. You know, we got all kinds of days and all kinds of technology now. But, you know, the good music and the good professionalism, the talent back then, it took a lot of talent to record back then, did it not, Ron?
Yeah, it did. It was different. It's different now. It's not the same as it was fun back then. It's still fun, but it was fun back then.
Yeah, definitely. So, Ron, you've been all over the United States, I guess, and you've been involved with a lot of different people in recording. But you know people who actually started up Music Row in Nashville, Tennessee. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, Owen Bradley. Bradley. Yeah.
Is he still active, or?
No, he passed away.
He passed away. How long ago?
And Music Row, was it 98? I guess 1998.
Yeah.
There's a statue of him on Music Row, Lakeside, playing piano, and there's a Owen Bradley Park right there on 16th, 17th Avenue in the turnaround on Demumbrian. There's a park there dedicated to Owen.
Right.
And yeah, Owen was him. I went to him one day, this back when that song Cowboy that you were listening to, he produced Eddie with that one.
Eddie Arnold.
And that's kind of how I met Owen. But I was in Nashville, I guess it's 1980, somewhere down there. And I'd hear stories, that Owen did, that people were talking and they were giving credit to other people. So I went out to the barn, the studio, and I said, Owen, you need to tell your story. And he said, well, actually, Ron, he said it was me and Harold the first 10 years. He said, everything we made, we put back into the business. He's talking about the Quonset hut. And you can go on Facebook under Owen Bradley's Quonset hut, and it'll kind of describe everybody from Willie Nelson to Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, just the whole gambit. And if it wasn't for Owen and Harold, then 10 years later, Chet Atkins came in with him. And they created what's now Music Row.
Yes, amazing. My son trained up there back in the early 2000s. But the collapse of 2007 and 8 pretty well did some damage to Music Row. And, I don't know exactly how. I guess it's built back a lot since then, but it was a bad crash that really hurt the music industry back in the 2008 debacle. But I think it's trying to come back, has come back. But Nashville has grown unbelievable. Nashville's not really the same city that it was in the early 2000s.
Yeah, no, not even. That was the point when we were all that time working with Owen. We wanted to do an Owen Bradley's Day, and I talked to Owen about doing Owen Bradley's Day, and Owen was it's gonna be a little bit gushy, but he was my best friend, and there was times when I had problems, and he's the one that I'd call, and say, Owen, you got a minute? And he'd sit and talk for 20 minutes about the septic tank, backing up his kid. He was probably the most unselfish guy I'd ever met. He just knew.
That's amazing, Ron. That's amazing. That's a lot of history. That's a lot of history.
Yeah.
People take for granted the sacrifices that were made to establish, icons and wonderful, beautiful things that happened in the United States, in this country. And one of them was Music Row and all the musicians. And you are a musician. You are a songwriter. You did write some songs. You wrote the song Cowboy that we just played that Eddie Arnold sang. But you know what? I heard your version of it, Ron, and I want to play it right now. Just give us just a little bit to play just a few minutes of it. And then I want you to comment about how you did this and when. Okay, so just hang on just a second. Man, that was a beautiful, beautiful song.
Okay.
When did you do this, Ron? When did you sing that song, Cowboy?
Well, that was back in a bunch of years. Diane says a few years ago. That's a bunch of years ago. We did it at a guy. It was a demo, and I played all the instruments, and I had a 12-string guitar, and I turned it over and played like bongos on the back of it, and played the bass lines on the. Everything was done with my 12-string, and the keyboard. I'd hit the keyboard thing on one note. But we did this guy's house.
That's amazing. So how did you do those high parts when it was like cowboy? How'd you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that? Did you physically sing that up that high? Octave?
Yeah. I used to love the playing in the falsettos. It was fun, Yeah. And it was fun. I enjoyed that part of it. And looking back on now, like talking to you right now about this kind of stuff, and Diane, it brings a boatload of memories back,
Yeah.
And we had talked about doing. Yeah, go ahead.
I said I could imagine that. But now you've settled out around Panama City Beach. That's you live around Panama City Beach now, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been in Panama City Beach?
8 years. I guess about 8 years, something like that.
Okay,
I call Big Sur's home. That's my home. But we've been here for about 8 years now.
Yeah. So
matter of fact, we left Nashville, came down here.
So you lived in Nashville a while. How long did you live in Nashville?
Oh, long time, off and on since 1980.
Okay. Well, you met a lot of the greats. I mean, you want to talk just a minute about some of the greats that you might have met in the music industry? We talk about it, your friend that started Music Row, but what about some other greats? Who else did you get to meet?
John Denver, Jack Green, Tom Jones, had a song demoed by Frank Sinatra, one called "Sing for the Good Times."
Yeah.
Tom Jones wound up doing it, and Jack Green did it. And I got to stand on the Grand Ole Opry stage, and he, told everybody to wave to them all. And,
wow.
And it was my first. When we started, it was in L.A. actually. And my first manager was, his name was Cliffy Stone, and he was my first producer. And our offices were on Sunset and Vine. It was the Beatles publishing, ATV Music Group. And Sam Truss signed me. And this was 1973, I guess. And I had an office that you could look out the window and you could see the Capitol Records Dome and the Brown Derby, which isn't there anymore, and Hollywood right on the hills there. We were on at Sunset Vine, yeah. And
wow.
I had my road manager was Wally Amos, and one day Wally came in and he said, "Ron, it's about 11:30 in the morning." It's about 1975. He said, "Ron, I'm just getting out of the management business, but check this out. I'm going to start a cookie." So he takes me into one of the office, opened up the notebook, and he's got this cookie on his paint, the famous Amos chocolate chip cookie. And he had a meeting this was 11:30 in the morning, at 12 o'clock, a meeting across the street in the restaurant with Helen Reddy and her husband to see if they'd back him, and walked out the door and said, "Very good luck." And they did. And he started, I don't know if you ever heard of the famous Amos chocolate chip cookie, but as Wally.
Oh, wow.
And
I've heard
we wound up. Oh yeah, he did well. He did well with that cookie. I have to laugh, but he had at the time. He had Marvin Gaye. He had a bunch of people, but Cliffy Stone was the president of the Academy of Country Western Music at the time, and it's one of those things, man. I was living in my car, and I wound up going out on the ranch with him. It all happened literally in 2 days, actually. I played Capitol Records Showcase on Thursday night. I was supposed to sign with RCA and be in the studio Thursday, but I was offered to sing at Capitol Records on Thursday night. And there was two girls that I heard singing in the Old Town Mall in Torrance. And they reminded me of the Everly Brothers. And so I walked up and said, "How would you like to do the Hollywood Palace?" Well, they went on to become a group called Sweethearts of the Rodeo.
Oh, wow.
And Janice wound up marrying Vince Gill. And that took its saga where Vince met Amy, and that took its saga. Vince, great. What an unusually great guy. You can't say enough about him. Yeah. But same with John Denver. Just incredible... good people. There's some good people.
Denver
There's some nitwits, but
he got on TV a lot back in the 70s. I remember he used to have a John Denver show or something like that, and I remember seeing him on.
Well, he hosted the Tonight Show a lot, and he did a lot of specials. One with Doris Day. He did a bunch of them. His real name was Duchendorf. I think it was John Henry Duchendorf or something like this. And anyway, I got to Sam, the guy that signed me.
Why he was so interested in singing about country roads out in West Virginia. And he actually...
Well, actually, Bill and Taffy Danoff were writing it. That's kind of funny. When I came back from David, it's kind of, didn't know I was going to go this direction. I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and there was a group of us. We did local commercials and radio, and this World Sound Studios was the only studio in town. It had rugs on the wall, and it was an 8-track, we did the Fox Smart utility commercials and this kind of stuff. And they all got invited. It was Mike Taylor, Danny Potter, Keith Lane, Penny, and they got invited to go up to work with John on a song. I think it was the Aries album or at any rate, because Mike Taylor left, and he wound up being a bartender in the Cellar Door in D.C., met John when John was on the road, and wound up writing Rocky Mountain High with John.
Wow.
And yeah. And if you get the Rocky Mountain High, well, anyway, it's of all the things to wind up this guy Sam I was telling you about when I went out to L.A., because I was the only one that didn't get to go. I was a new kid on the block. And when I wound up in L.A. and I played this song, I'm going to sing my song for Cliffy, that I got up in the mountains. This is where it gets a little bit, I'm Christian. And that was my dilemma. Doesn't work right. But an experience in the mountain, God gave me a song. Out comes this song. I'm going to L.A. And I'm sitting in front of Cliffy Stone, and I played the song. And I didn't realize he was the president of the Academy of Country Western Music. I didn't know that. And I played him that song, and Sam heard it through the wall. And Sam's the one that found John and named him Denver and signed him. So.
Really?
And he signed John as a staff writer with Northern Songs on Leaving on Jet Plane.
Yeah.
And so they created John, and John was the real deal. John was the real deal. Good people, but
like a nice guy to me.
Yeah, he was what he was is what he was. He wasn't. There was no. He was the real deal. He deserved.
Well, it sounds to me, Ron, like you're the real deal. I mean, here you are. Years later, you've got all these memories. You've got all these experiences. And we're trying to transmit that out to the audience out there in several cities. This is going to broadcast in 11 cities, and it's just amazing that we. Got to be able to hook up with you, and you can share these experiences to the rest of us, because I'm a musician, but I didn't do the things you did. I'm a keyboard player, and I had a little experience in that. But my son he's a guitar player and an audio engineer. That's one of the reasons why we do radio. Because it's kind of a natural thing with all the audio and music and all that stuff, technology. But it's amazing when we hear stories like what you're talking about, I've also down through the years, I was, trained in that what I really am is someone who tries to help people with their the retirement plans, because I'm an asset preservationist, and I've experienced in, investments that won't lose any money and produce guaranteed income. And, it's just amazing to see and hear someone like you that is experienced in something that's revolutionary, in my opinion, also. Asset preservation is, it's kind of revolutionary in a way, because, so many people want to take extreme risk, and we're kind of getting away from that, especially with the markets the way they are and going up and down and all that stuff. And, I just appreciate you guys reaching out to me to talk to you about your investments. But, the other thing is your amazing story, Ron, the amazing story that you can give us about how Music Row and John Denver and, Eddie Arnold. Now, I have to admit this. I was listening to your version of Cowboy, and I liked it 10 times better than Eddie Arnold's. I hate this. Really. And you produced this actual song in a guy's house in a makeshift studio, I guess, and that's amazing.
Matter of fact, his studio was above the garage.
Above the garage.
Pardon? Yeah, his studio was above the garage. And it just working around. When we did that song, Elton John had just done the Yellow Brick Road. And it was Elton, at the time, it was Elton John, Nigel Olsson, and Dee Murray. Dee was bass and Nigel played drums. And Dee, I guess Elton kind of went single on his own. And so Dee became our bass player. And when we did a demo at this one guy's house, Dee came and played bass for us.
Amazing.
And I've been fortunate. We had Ronnie Tutt played drums when we did a session, and all this stuff. Emery Gordy played bass, and you were talking about piano. Kenny Asher was a piano player for a while, and he wound up writing. Was it Me and You Against the World? No. Evergreen.
Yeah.
He did with Barbra Streisand and a bunch of other stuff. I think he did that too.
Yeah.
But this was all with Sam. When Sam was in the net and heard it through the wall. When I played that song for Cliffy, all of a sudden the door opens up and Sam looking at me, and it looks at Cliffy, and Cliffy had this big, huge cigar. He was a big man, a sweetheart of a guy. Just the great. I got to meet the greats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
and there's a reason why. Yeah, there's a reason why those guys, because they had that something special. They were just good people.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they observed. They just spent their time watching everybody. It wasn't really about them type of thing, you know. But
Right.
Sam opens the door and he looked at me and he looked at Cliffy and he said, "Have you signed him?" And Cliffy just kind of shook his head with that cigar and he said, "Sign him." And he looked at me and he said, "You stay here. You don't go looking no place else. We'll be like a family. If it takes 3 years, if it takes 5 years, we're going to make you a star." And he turned to Cliffy again and said, "Sign him." And he closed the door. That's how it happened. And I said, "Who was that?" And Cliffy leaned over, picked up the phone, says, "The president of the company." And picked up the phone, said, "Send Curtis in." And that started. Well, Curtis was his son. He wound up going on to starting Highway 101, bass player. And his other son, Steve, him and Mike Curb had Curbstone Productions, and Mike Curb went on to become Lieutenant Governor of California.
Amazing.
And it just all from that, Sam went opening the door. Well, Sam, we were going to do a movie, all of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in
Owen.
a half, a little more detail, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have more. Cool.
Yeah,
But I really, God blessed me, man. I tell you, that's all I can say. He blessed me, you know. Yeah. Everything at the time, when I was in LA, I was sleeping on the couch because you couldn't get me out of the mountains in a tent at the time, as it appears, evidently had something to do with PTSD and NOM and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's the other thing I want to talk to about. In NOM, you actually did radio, but let's do this. Let's take a break here, and we'll come back and we'll talk about what you did in NOM and some of the stuff about. You were talking about a movie that you guys were trying to do. I think the guy that did Rain Man was interested in doing this movie, if I remember right.
Yeah, Barry Morrow. Yeah.
So we'll come back and we'll talk about that. But right at this second, I just want to end this first half talking about what we do at Earnest Financial, where asset preservation is, as I've said before, we specialize in not losing money. You just can't lose your assets, and as it sits right now, we're talking to Ron about all these wonderful times in the past, Ron Fraser. It's just beautiful and wonderful that we can talk about the past. But, you don't want to lose the future either, especially when it comes to your retirement money. You don't want to lose the future because the future is what's coming at you right now. And the future is what is important right now. The past is the past. The future is the future. Don't lose what you have accumulated. Don't lose what you've worked so hard all your life. Give us a call. We want to show you how we can save it all and make it build better. Also, we got these gigantic bonuses we can add. And also, good returns that compete somewhat with the stock market. But you can never lose any money because the insurance companies guarantee that you can't ever lose any money in these FIAs. But anyway, hang on to your seat. Just like you want to hang on to your money, because we'll be right back. Let me just say some numbers first. Call 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE, SAFE. Again, that's 833-596-7233. Or you can go to my website at retirewithernest.com. Hang on, because the future is coming really fast in the second half of the show.
Dark and gray. For a week now it's been raining every day. But the Kansas City Kid.
If you're hungry, well, have I got a deal for you. My friend David Ernest is going to send you to the Texas Roadhouse. All you have to do is give him a call. Toll free, 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE. Set up an appointment to talk to him about investing your money. Sit down with him and talk on the phone, on Zoom, or in person. And after you're done, saddle up and head on over to Texas Roadhouse. But you gotta call 833-596-7233. Don't forget to visit David's website at retirewith